He's just landed in commercial. Adopted that kind of attitude. Position oneself. In the Ashanti so bold and so proud. $120 billion Ghana as a disease. A champion. Ghana $350 billion. To December, I think 350.
Youth we have 12 million graduates. And yet we are producing 5 million graduates who cannot find them. It was like a rebellion against Let's not think that if you are enriching yourself, people oppressing him, that's why.
Go to your police. It's not about Operation William. She was the
and so now first and so under this kind of
Have been destroyed. Places that are all stranded. Very serious situation. With some emergency. And get his people quickly so that very serious situation.
So the okay, when you are copying. Once you are woman, Falani, father said, oh, you penny, baby, I want made a commitment in the to reconstruct the appeal. Ensure ethnic groups investigate some public offices. You see some
Ghana and make us great and majority leader and the attending honor our dinner to get I mean something we not it ya about Ghana waves because of this I mean about Donko upon Sima Ediasa and 9 134 and about Ghana waves about Ghana has a maybe I will be as a member in Susan womb and Mawa and Mawajo and Mawachi. Jumedia would say a face to face. If free Samuel say ever bought the ball because and ne a town hall meeting. Jumedia a bino AD. So all the bottom home there, so the church 11 and semu. Wana Wonyantia, said it many muntia, no much me up say a yes 11. Into the town hall meeting, so ever so. Into because Sekondi and the reporter Ali Ejimoha or share. Na de beko subia no de mu details e de abrand ye beko ho ya kwhwe ensema etwagu ewo second ye kase de the place is set ya hye nkonya ade se de ye kwa asoro de mu no pepepe e bia so panyi betana nye de sisisi ho nti dignity se bi metetanya na nia aye ready age se nyame ya doma e bon no nwene pepepe ne edan ni e de akọ second takwa de nia wakofa aye town hall meeting a e beko so ho no e de abrawo nia mi di dwumadi mi din e de Richard Kujo obetimi afreme ni yesa djumodi ba kono so eti Richard Kujo pe na de fafreme so kasefidie so na yenkɔ anim ewo ho sa na yenkɔ anim na so no oso betimi afrena do gye nche ba won sema de betudwa eho ane 0023 004915166940491516695466 ene number idi djuma ewo kasefidie so ensembe ene ne je se edi ni yerua kene Japan edi nsemi abetudwa for no one party for ho ene eye apieti nsemi e so efa eye explosion a eto odwa no we de kene Japan so de nitutu fo ma e wo se enhwemu no ekoso ye papa na reporter police for the buy no on see the hu ye because bibie no chese na dwumadi a so no police eye car na carry explosions no na ewo eye police escort ewo ho bibia nu ho a omutima kan obeje di se na police escort o nya ne se ka police escort ewo ho a e ba ne sen this is ensema wa busa o se ka police escort ewo ho a e ba ne sen na emra driver no hu se car no mfonso ba ho a eja e hye wase no onu mom na sie ko ka kire ekromofo no se omu nyina enwane nko na police fo no na omo wo he e wo sen kom e wo sen kom na nke mpo ekọ no mo make sure say omo be pamo eye fence omo pamo eye crowd na oni nyina ade free ho but there was no police escorting tina driver na ade ne pe esi fom edi se adwuma no it was say omo ahwem no man amande credit wom ama e be ensem people or say anka oni nke kono ko anka mo bi anye donation emfa makromo na anka company na omo ka no because omo insurance interest akane nyina fan free ho na because anka ose amana na ngesi anka company no anka bana kom ko liquidation kom se kanyina anka yasa anka sa ase ho nyina kom mesi ni nyina because they have insurance omo edidi omo djuma na company no omo insurance nsem etesen ewu anase enwuye ni nyina ka Japan ensem a obisa efa eye apietisa apietu ze apieti eye explosion a course so ewo ho no na wa amana no ansi wa owie no se me party MPP for so mun so na mun ye na what is coming is for you ge bai ewo mo e di asem anoro aka Japan e kafa eye MPP party ho wa simunim obi di blame ebo eye honorable Asmani Babin ade obeye mo no na munima anka mamum biema no emfa sobobia emfa mo no na Babin atu kwan entidie se ka mo mpe Babin anka man koto aba emfa ma no eye mo na mokoye na mokoto aba ye di fence eye I forget his name Eronkwe abesi wo mo se mo mpe no ni mo mpe Babin na makofa Babin na makofa Babin na ba wi a mo ba run mo maf mo obi ankasa o se wo be chew se o run mo maf se ana Babin na yesi na Babin na yesi na Babin onye hwe info so da cause of parliament no eye na ye MPP for na ye problem ana ko fasa asibe obanti wa onim na be run mo maf concern ora Babin no onu benya case oba kuje Babin achi no omu nyina ka bo matwa enti ensim yeli we ana friends owura kra Japan ere abetudwa but ye hia pa ya torenchema esi ewo eye apie tools apie ti ewo hono ewo bogoso hono ya de a say enu osanka ye transese ye donations de ama eye sa nkofo no because company no omo adi cha adwuma no omo insurance cover omo nti omo insurance na cover omo no ewo se ehwe na amanfo ne magya pade ase nyina no ene wona owo ho a wo to chima nyoma prepare nyina ewo se insurance company no ana ehwe sa nkofo no nyina na ne no se eye yeti debe fund bia elko fund sa project no nemum sa company no ana ewo se omohwe na omutuatua sa ekai wo ho nyina we asema ye bisa wadwenkyere 00491516659466 004915469666 now so wadwenkyere ede aba call WhatsApp line call pe and text message imagine making Kenya only Ora Japan adwen was asemi a obetudwa na wo sa company no say maximum one hwan no oni omo ba wiache ayam wo obetwa mo da ekwan me befa so bia obe investigate sa company no obehwe mo nkratam nyina so mo nkratam de adwa ko say ejani pa obe make sure so obehwe mo nkratam nyina from kenkra ko siase because entimi ntina ho emu ma medini pa wusa no mfa ne hunni na yomo so di asede se omo ebe ye de efata de efata ne se omo insurance company ejapade ase okromo nyina no ewo so mo hwe na company no mum netua no sa ban ekogina ko receive fund ne sane manema no e de masa enkofo no ewo ho wei ene nsemo ro akra Japan e de aba betudwa wadwenkyere ewo sa asemi do you support his ene nsemo okano say no sa ban ekrampo ekoyibi e de bo wo mo ne mum e say company no eye maxim for no omo ankasa ana say obo mo hoka ene omo insurance company no mo hwe wona asem eto wo mo no na omo di omo asem ede mo mo na omo pebe papa ede ngofo no efo efa bi omo di omo tibeto bi omo eye bi omo ebia no ewo se eye ade a ebetimi ababe ade ebehia wona omo akwa ahokyerem no omo betimi ahenha omo ewo saa enema no nyina aso samre abodo nkopa osima aduanan mienu wo so gusu a wotie Ghana Waves Radio ensem no eno no but my young conquer other stories and also make headlines and then somebody catch us a town hall meeting e-levy and people for near papa say e-levy there kian nekin a tree mu kwan said them come rubber share home on beba Ghana for a bit ye pill we go pay e-levy and no omo nam takwa this here omo bom mo dia say omo ba ye town hall meeting the ma takwa for no matter nsem e de achi omo the reporter Ali ejina standby hwe ne ekoso se de enima na esitie do se ene town hall meeting no hwan ene eba ba hia enim se na wotwetwa mu no de omo ye no eye ewura afani markets na owo hobi na finance minister ewo hobi na eye information minister ewura kudu opon nkruma na ono so ewo hobi sankofo emiensa na asla owu su eso na ono so hobi sankofo nan ana hiemu a omo de jumade bai na de omo graduate ekobanim omo ne 5 because omo tum say fight ne so anya small fighter nipa na ye bitima ko ndesem do akoka mani enum enti this one na omo kono omo de eye central regional minister eye ekobi ana omo de eye takrade western regional minister ekobi ana information minister eso etache den ana honorable eye Andrew amishudi ni ye na di no aswev me ewo ho but let me be very sure of the name honestly MP for I think it's Sekondi takrade ewo ho a omu nyina akwohwe na dwumadi na baso with the head minister on the abo captain's band no na kwatire chiri finance minister obo captain's band na kwatire chiri no he ayi bibia na kwodi oponkroma no obedi referee on the first we mra wenye sei we meka na kan nse mo kama na bibia akwa dwumadi no 2:00 ya na sa dwumadi e baso be fa na live ewo Ghana Waves kasa fidie so sa so be stream live ewo YouTube ama amanfo so etimenya bia hwe nti obetima ko YouTube page no so na ko subscribe Ghana Waves Radio that's why follow Facebook so Ghana Waves Radio but YouTube na ye be dwuma je nfa ko Facebook ti bomo dia say obeko na government town hall meeting on 11 Western Region edition we season 2 episode 1 and I say omu you know etino ene Wednesday 2nd February 2022 and Jumadian Air Course was Sekondi Youth Center 2 p.m. pepe na Jumadian Air Oshe takrade putting what they say ho nyagro bibia ede na kwamu regional minister what takrade was why ready pa for meeting no kwa ni mfonyi da page so bit wakwa ni no nim no abusa branti wina okay nti we ana takrade regional secondary western regional minister na ono ano no we na me ne ho ensema we bre say ni ma me use different dey be wakwa jinsa bode wo assembly si nyina no papa we ya ono asem ne yake alejo che be ho ze ne kuro bi anim me passing bia sa aso na ye ma me kama ba fa so no ne ho fa sweet lady ne ho twa kama takrade central regional minister or so ADH akobeti we a fight of the two regions, central and western region, and a kaboom, a co-hosting, and a mujumediano, ever ho, and Tino Uduha, Sapepe, and a Tietino, a Mame Justine, Marigold, sweet and fair, sweet 16, or no so it gets to say, or Kobo, a member because back on Usla, and it is age, but not a month of Uncle B, so the communication minister, and was I could teach him more honum, but I'm not to say, so a no. Yawa biwie ye nua bema ye kenofurata ona captain ban wajabo nensa odo nchirimu ebre ama ye nyina se beku ye nkuyo we captain ya na wasudi doso papa etino odo abo ofori adha we say we sidin se sunu no ho na ote wona tum se ne papa obe kan se papa na glasses watwa bodo mo so fine ana odo nose mask kama no wakana nza atum se abe finish wedding ring or the chairs were worried into guessing your monk away when he'll be out in chain. So I pay at it, Tietino, and there no munu, na ye day any call a year takrade, near she said ye, a coso, a war, a ho, na a digimedina at the abremo. Was so good, I would see Ghana Waves Radio. Somebody I bought a donk of at your night in Sia. Ye crochet, ye go so in some. A 70-year-old arrested for manufacturing weapons for criminals. Papa also did 70 years. One in the Juma Odian say Ubuntu weapons. And then Wakobo weapons. Amount for some from Kudi Bonnie and a police for Enza Achiwamo Achino Ewo Honum. Now say Anna story as 2 persons in their mid-70 are currently in the grip of the police in the eastern region for their alleged involvement in manufacture and distribution of weapons to criminals. 66-year-old Richard Kwame Asare and Kojita 74 years. Omunja, both professional blacksmith and resident of Pakuro near Adawaso in the Ekafem North municipality have been manufacturing local-made pistols for criminals in the area at a fee. They say, Ulumai no, what a crash on Obuntio, and the money for bonnet for Ulumai. We as get to friends and TVET. That will catch radio honor because we are being away. See, in your time, a money papa to you and obey the will be Obutio Ulumai at the age of 64 and 74 years. Obutio, Ewo. I say, omodi ma akronfo na omodi di ensemone e wo pomo but nyamdom police for achomusi adwe I say omuntimi enya hwe e wo ho omo akodi police for ensem I say a very 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 good news e de ma yen say e de ma esi an de pese ehu anka police for nko bi di ensemone se ne ya ntempa na stood away ya akọ form ye jeje omo sa na omo che system ni ma na video omo enya mo affiliate na omo chete branches e wo ba bi bebre police officer killed. It's in a bed. This is a binu. And a police officer is here. Police officer keke. Young police officer. Police officer killed by speeding vehicle as Gomwa Dominase. Oh, there's a police in the car. Bono. Simple. A 29-year-old police officer. Constable Comfort. Oh, your bar Hussein. Oh, sorry. Sorry. It's a very sad news. Police in the banner car abona ya sa. Oh my God, Musi. Oh, the district officer, the district of the central region, okay, in the Gumwa East district of the central region. I mean, can I say, she has lost her life after she was hit and ran over by a speeding vehicle. The vehicle, a Toyota commercial van with registration number GS 4746-20, sped through a to a checkpoint where the late officer was stationed. Police source says the incident happened around 3 a.m. where the driver in the vehicle, who was traveling from Accra to Takwa, failed to stop after he was signaled by the late police constable, running over her and killed her instantly. She said, the driver is currently in the grip and because we're going and it's now all these are someone police ones are cannot say action until no so ask them ebeba amaya kudini e wo court pepe untimi enye hit and run what hit you was say aka ho it's a deliberate attempt say obi say oyes ade no ana oye but police ones are cannot say the enche bia no ye de no ebeko akogina court ni ekodina asem police ones na say e wo ha crime be say hu de din court no obeden obeko upe the court you go you can say the over your screen so attack right there you say you nyina yo po you say bibia ready baba hye nkunya no black ones say 5 sia na say 4 sia as I saw them nkunya no I say kama bia elders betina bibia de kin betina bibia so man betina nya have pet ana ohu mfonyin no e wo ho nti say ya na bekoso na wo hwe background no so bibia yo po sa e wo ho a say ye twen say dwumadi no e be hye ase e wo takrade emra town hall meeting no e baso racket of rata and a better say na okeka nsem do na ministers na aka no ene wo MP no wo hono so no e kakra asoso e dey man 11 no you see at about so e about 1.5 e bia omusa koye second town hall meeting omusa 1.2 omuko bia no muto so kakra am bi do na 0.5 anke ni baji papa omuto so basa na anke ni baji papa because come baji free hono ni skaketwa do muto so kakra sana e bitima boa enti dey me dey bia maka say the 11 may be fine but the rate is too high. Omonte somaye nemra from kakra. But the local schools say yes, the hall is ready. They are waiting for the people to come and sit down. Name for Jumadi Nina and for Emre ya chef for idiot for life. Your Ghana Waves page in so. So I'm like small watching that is about a year 2 o'clock. And then assemble open me bisa. I don't want because many time. A year takwa bugoso asema yesi. Ano ruaka de Japan edana betum eno de betum nyina ne say company na omudi sa ne explosion e paaye no ne explosives explosions ne e paaye no sa company no omomo modern na de ase wo bia no e wo sa company de fa ho kanyina because o gidi pass company no insurance and the insurance no mo no e de na eye no say aban air funding bia edema sankofo no mom e wo say ye company kete na oje eye e fere sen o man insurance company ehwe na edema ase wo no nyina ene wo na wa hwere on kwa ene wo na wa prepare no ye compensate o nyina ni nyina through o insurance company wo say ya anya ne saa na de bi obe bibi afa ne ho adi bibi another one can happen na o ma fo ho adi kwa e wo mra a omo enya enhwim papa bia emfim emfama ekono ko ade anka adwumakuo no a omo di saa adwuma no anka ban emmo modin ase obejai saa fund nsem no na saa nkofo na enkopa sika from omo insurance company ho na mo fa metua saa nkofo no nyina aka per on one investigation so waye no car na ekura explosives no there was no police escort obi o say we badwin ba anka busa ho say emra asem si no say kada police escort ho a na driver ni mom no take anim no ana si ekọ school mu ho ene area secretary mo say obi antwi ni hu na say ni na police for no omo wo he anka police enka bi say ke bank no na e madwuma kese say ye crowd aba ye pima ko achi say bibi boni bia ensi no anka na kai police for dwuma kese pa na so police for no say omo escort no omo wo he and ojiri said no kro bia dis asem say na police for bi e wo ho a omo ehwe sa dwumadie no so e wo ho quickly me first caller oboba aba homa no so ma me faron na me njira dwenkire e wo sa ensemi ho se so e wo se company insurance and e fa sa aka nyina ana se e wo se oman no e fa e ka no Mame kwa homa no so. Oboba.
Yeah, Black Kujo.
Good afternoon. Oh.
Good afternoon, sir.
Adomara kwa that's where.
Now me be through the track.
Ide radiasi. Eja meet you.
My student, I'm corporate you. I'm a professional after bubble. So,
What I say?
Mr. Mikasana feedback.
Because I have feedback on. My mom and my name is
Maybe send me house or side.
and if you're home because
Okay.
my dear, clear pa. It is saying. Hello, Baba.
What to do?
Yeah, but I say it's you.
Yo, me chia ubibia, chia from what chia. Yeah, because we are seeing, I ti ekoso chia do from nyina. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go on.
No kwale ni okay, me chia bla kudo, me chia pa, me chia obibia.
We be Joseph.
Chuma si chia pa. Me think near Dr. Wiafre if you said yeah or the same me am offer can I just all can and why you very good and feel say a ban it near Japan can is that why
Me gisi oboba enshi da NT and Kenya nti o message o besa back na ya hwe de betimi aye ewo ne line ho I say o te ne ho mienu nti ma wa confused oboba NT radio no ba jo ofra NT radio no just ofra straight away na bra eye makoso nyina enko phone so na ye ntwe enkomo ewo ho waso guso we tie Ghana we studio with my friend 00491516659466 00491516659466 now so do adwen kire e de aba obobo beti masafre o line no I say na won sheda NTN ka papa bas beti masafre ofra e de obekọ na wado adwen kire e de aba enti oboba na na wa homa no so na oda adwen kire ba no o support the rock in Japan e ka say and the be no crop be boa say say company no omu insurance and also mo hwenanka omu sisi sa ekro na mo ahye no compensate wona we prepare ne wona wabushafo ahwere won kwane nyina na emfa nkunudi emfa so dimba ne emom ogidi pefe se eye insurance de nkofo no onye hwe se no mu obi onye hwe okra se na nkofo no omo insurance omo wo fere se eye police escort na ekofa enema no de akọ ba bia se eko ene ade ba ko se ndie won jindi ba kokra se na omo wo bibisa wo ho a nti ama enema no nyina aye won wona se ono be investigate omo from kinkrin to krankran be investigate ba ko siase to say obenya eye results ewo sa asema isi ewo bogoso ewo takwa ehono osu betima frɛ 00491516659466 00491516659466 na wadwen kyerɛ de abaha eye Ghana we street waso gusu a wutie eye face to face dwumadie no obi se Ghana ye insurance e di agro na se ya se na eye owura kan Japan kan eye ne kura papa ne sa pepe na se ngekoso se onna okudi ensemone no ono na wo se otua eye sa ensemone ho ka se ne insurance na hwe ma etua sa ekane nyina se insurance e adwuma nko ade a eno na wo se hwe na otua sa ekane nya mamisa nko ahoma so bobo asaba bobo
hello Brakujo me dasi my face ma dia wa
okay
ni ana ye kan se echia me obibia asem ne obia chi obia Brakujo the nti twumasi eti de na me am ofa Japan ka no se ebrochire ha de a saa na mra no be den ebe kɔ no pepepe because omo insurance de a de ntinese aban etwa no ho so e de den me so Ghana sem ye be koye ne se enye hwi famanyame wo ena fan kusin moma ye mfa mmra keke enye adwuma o my kronkron Ghana mu se company no insurance de biem ne se aban etwa biem ede abiem abra kujo ede abiem dano ma parki me kosie me yira me ba de meti apan obi di abo me kaato wadi bo me kaato me sie da na wo bi pa ne wo mpa me susu ka we kwa na shem because man susu obi di be bo me kaato man susu na pijama ana me kaka akosi me yira ba Drakuju, what the ball card to Aquana say or no security wobana say plan yet wada the security away from camera who you know Aquanada. And one the here say me insurance no insurance here. I didn't make a see mechanic. Drakuju, got to boot to 2,500 because me use Citroen C4. It's expensive. It's like a Audi. That you are facing me camera, man, 1 CD. Mantia tools, mantia she. Okay, it is a pay dimra a juma. Company send ya moken, Yebekwana can ya poor casa, can it? No, the man or ma papano or cano quare. No, yes, no casafobiano or casana dieso. Some people from 24 to me, but they will at me yen at Japan, a bronya a year. I can people become an imbebre. The Japan can you right now so be ni pe bia me na be gina ho akase the Japan oye ne day and yet because onim ne ekọ o ka akra Ghana akra insurance crime yes o ma fa di e tie be man na mo chichi say o man ti say Slovakia ketikiti 5 million say o ma yakun one journalist e wo promo ha 5 million population for Slovakia e demonstration e ma prime minister step down. Am I actually nipping within 3 months? Will be in your 25 years, will be in your 30 years, will be in your 35 years. Okay? And run your dear Jumano in our question of Wakukun Centroni, because Centroni the politician for blah blah blah. And that's animal you are stopping in more. That's what big Italy had the Opacasi Sodom and Goboria, their gas ayo. Any poor Ebia at win, you bet travel sans and ye coon, Captain Wayne, Mahama, a besi ne. And to look as a captain now, or any packet, we need lawyers, we need insurance. So, Sinipan coon captain, Ecosi saying black Dutchmacy. On a put you be done by Yakun, Ecosi saying Minister Cophobia and Korea teacher, Ecosi saying, come on, I didn't know what more you say. And you know, the Moyano, Momo sorry, someone could just so damn Hiribaba for nothing. And for so be a miso. And 24 go, Besha Juman Debbie, Obeshia Minister Moa, our share baby and Tia Vlacunia, baby a minister to Beshianon, no Namo Aqua or Nam Pruning, no Ricky has a any bay, no Dikibab, oh pruning, words in them. Minister Moa, no Kita Kibab. No, Diko, no, or yet Jumako. No bodyguard. Me and Bisano, the minister, Aden, was it for what? Me soon me mine, me soon me mine, me mine, so me. Yet the Ghana, the ministers, extra Ghana, Obakasi, Ghana for it, Obakasi, come on. Time, Papa. And yet time, Mummy and Kano Quare back open fishing or separate coupe, because when I'm to me, I'm an time, Papa. I'm not a city, Papa. Now, so Brocha, Nick Quine, Papa, brother, what saying, brother Bright, sorry, Ninkania, mid I show America. How many times? It is the same. Any down your catching a bit for Samano. Sharp, she can't quit at a tamano. And me within 1 year, home visit Danamano. Now, so my dan she gana here, who insurance, my camping with who insurance, who Jebin, and Crawford just getting ready. I didn't hire. Yet, quite a nasty by yet the job of Funanasi, adding ye job of and I said, Jebin, most of them nationally put who, a dear Musian, Bian almost was here, there be a danka Kamayeka. Say, new quasi Ghana, as I said, or Ghana Nikra to Quine. Or there be our fame or him on Timothy. Says a Ghana need to Quine, or Timifa extra computer who shares this is from biara onyankopɔn bɔ yɛ bia ɔma Ghana fo bi na so bɛba brochia na Ghana ni ohuru nkukum na Ghana ni wɔ public area na Ghana ni ɛwɔ abɔnten na ɔsɛ via ɔmo ya wo sika si de wɔn yiro ɔba ko wo nye ba bi akɔrɛ nye beni akɔkɔrɛ nye drone to ɔmo aka yi ɛfɛ ɛni pana ma bɔnten stress ɛni stress wa ko obi stress o ma ya wo gold bauxite and the timber o pro twi o just o bi bia enwa nyina wo stand enwa utimi yi koto uti even the wo we kura akokun nyina utimi gi etie pe na Nyankopon amfa magana fo so bank hade na omo ni hwe just taxes and omutia nanso brabe dan o masisiesi ho mesi me pescator dan within 1 month me amame ahin 100,000 euros e dey atomi dan tia ne kakra sanye me fie ko mi toyi ni aka me tia no ahin 30 years nanso se me fie ko na ni muti no me tia ne 30 years tia ne 17 years eti Ghana yentimi hihye sa ni ma bi ewo ho e ma ne nye yie se bra kudwo we sabita frate na ho bo anso ye na se wontimi nye sika nto dan a eti bank ntimi mani sika se to na me ko to dan ma bank ni mfa sika ne hye wonsa na wo beka cho se kona ko hwehwe edan ni baabi a wo pe ni fabra ni enhwe sika wunya ewo bank sika wadwuma wunya na nipa do sen ni ansisinwe ni enhwe wo fie uko inside a brakujo enu anu no me petama me paache mota me penkoko me pekumasi obekọ dan no safo ni agent zeta team asa we susi ade edin me tia me fie yesi there be da ahemfo agents asi nyina di ene na de amoku eya ku se otumfo ne o de saying ajima gbadu ne for what who care for these things. Who care? And what I be assume edidi atem fam aye wasem ben enu banduane di aya na me ya pa bra kujo se me dwe ho a na me ntia sese nipa na mo ese ye ya akwantufo ya bra danu tie madu do ma hinkro ma me so pe 2 million aton chine 63 years woman ni kunu widow ya mani sikanto biani ni anka brocha okunu wu a ya mo sikanto biani ni ya hwe wo mama mo manko school free obi ami nyim no ese wo kom do ma hin kroko man sika ko wense ne wadura aya banya djuma enye yen djuma no aden edien ko na ban ne gigi edien na politician for gi obe wu diskade jaho enti se betimi a mo me fa abrofo hwe din no se mi krom ni Germany ha meji adwuma Germany ma tra Germany ma tua me taxes na me kwa me yakwa ma ji me pension sika mi wu a na me ko ne how ne say how many German peoples and wo Ghana omo clean dishes omo hwe merewa omo hwe kwakora how many Ghanaians and wo Germany ha ye hwe merewa hwe kwakora etiom to bi ansa na Ghanaians anya sika abehwe abusua wo fie na politician ni wi a na akwaji 4 billion
yo baba
no na Ghana fonzo ankasa na twa ho akotua sika no ama Ghana ban na Ghana fo ti ho ne yehwe ni ye kasi VA muka say yi dia ben 11 na mo twi ho manso we ya de se twi ho manso na politician fo wi 4 billion there and no mo nka ho asem o ji sika ne how many years ni
and since 92 constitution said that it can do BIGB
enya na do ne ba ya Ghana bonim say politician for Jesus kana akenim mo wia ye saa be sin ne e na onabo no akonkon no na furukutu no ni nam for what not the VAT no driver or police or be seven my who ba who bra kujo trabrojira o minister police bo ho baida o hu bida o my ti say Ghana from Accra to Kumasi e kwan ye mfutro kun enkrama ko krama ya wukura no se ne DF ka no emu akwa bo ho ban emwa kwebo buban emwa aboa kraman fani wura anopotututu na obi afane kraman na odene nam kraman ko tie fiwi na ofa pepa wa popa kraman to na opija na chen moto o kraman pan to da Just approach it. I know we are for come and put if here what pejadia to garbage box.
Yo.
Come on, walk down a purple. Come on in our bontin, what pebiani could be also correct. Come on. You see a Christopher. Christopher, yeah, check. Okay, right. I am a young person. If the 10 million, 15 million, that be our 500, 10, 5. Bosume is saying, Minister Nisika is saying, I won't trap.
Yes,
that could you, I mean, yeah, I am just too much. I mean,
Oboba, Anna, so emotionally he's charged, and he's firing left, right, center. We are Oboba, so Edia or the Abano. But Musena inside politics, every. Japanese with my friend now also join trader but line activated out with me after join by 00491516659466 00591516659466 now I join trader but maybe say I see more rock upon and then ever to do what you were saying when they are doing say company now on car explosives a blue a bugos quemono. If I say, among China, insurance company, and as a pisca, at the settle in Kofono, knows are buying and a copisca, and a cossettes uncle follow. Already now buy is crying out of money. So Uniska. It is cabin, not very finance up with it. And insurance company or no company a fancy, a Jumakua, or a saying a Jumohono. On Fresa insurance company, no Omramahe, not a funny saying, dear Ohobia. I was on my mat team before the Ohobia, I was on my mat, one of which and from what I can, one of what she was a padiano. I was just a complaining if you no, yes, anybody in the Emma or more. Some about no muno pound sima dubaco. Maybe say, I see rock the upon ever to you, only again. If you was a wowing now by attack in your bema a year honorable money grabbing or new case. A new case cry. It's more than say, Babina saying because was it the Babin Eddie Yono on find your Mosa because Yanni pay and a quarter about the man. Net you were the chance to vote for someone else, but we chose to vote for a Babin. In Tino's a Babin to Queen, Ubianca Nuntum, in natural seminary, not young Shana young Queen, a woman caught on one so. Nana bought in Hanover about Namen Fano, the men did a drink, and some already can the point level to J. Saying, and I canifa. Nana
Master Kujo Mpacho Ahoye
the madam who you pan elsewhere.
Eshume Hoye. Where that is a
You are not book a fine.
a Pomaya Dindy, they say bunch and why a dimpa or Kumasi. Intimate to your bunch.
A couple.
A couple. Oh, I know who I drink that. Yeah, drink who I was so. Okay, my main fat and Chelsea. Bushapeni Yanana Assembly Maso, no Pama Atoko Etipo, and Mammy. Could you,
Nana?
Canada, Japan, Asamoah, or Kano? Or here, or Boba, and Nalitino. Kere Japan, she say, yes, sir. Company no insurance is taking in charge. Am I buying MM? Well, you're wrong.
Okay. Chichuma and young quay, didn't you have to wrong or no?
The HCA why you're wrong when you say such talks, you know, at the confusion. And a very ordinary person like you.
And that's what my miss was a move. Say, Sanem ran a essay. Say, you couldn't ever insurance. What is wrong? Say, insurance company no ever take you over. Say, if she would not this year or one hour should be no. And yes, I think about. Yes, I think in a normal BBM no. Says, I think you call Anna.
On say
we say if all things being equal, so be that normal, be that core. And yet,
on say me true say ordinary person like you no. O question who busa no. Actually say ordinary person like you know, you have a problem.
maybe say, is it good? And I say, any good. I didn't say I have a problem. I'm just taking your submission. With that, yes, say, or Becassa, and I say, no, so
Me kana some me customer be sia samoso. And na
it's me, mean,
why we correct
oh, see me, say, any good. But I mean, cancer. I just want to
that mean cast oh younger man.
big man.
The person me tell say ordinary person like you know, it brings confusion to your mind.
Why confusion?
A bina question who busa me say all things be equal, the no money again. Watch out here.
Yeah, but my question is not confusion. As soon as maybe the same thing. I me pay clarification.
Okay. But anka ote bibia say into details deep one anka musa me say question.
Bibi ben na men
It is a winning one me no.
Maybe ben na men here into details. Enti a me timi say question no. Te say de me kura me car, me de akọ obi. Me de car ni ko bo obi. Insurance e wo car no ho. Me ba o e wo say insurance and take responsibility. Oh, ananya sanity.
Did you know the meaning of insurance?
Oh, why not?
How insurance operates?
Yes.
When you sanya manua and say bi wo ho a o benya abotre. Na mama manu si.
Na mo anu si me ho bi ade.
Simple. Yes. One will be a medequadia and you be fast. Pascaline at Fiesca. Pascaline at Fiesca, Mammy Camasem. Pascaline at Fiesca. Insurance, a joint. Or Bob by Fiesca. What Fiesca, Matriesca, some Triesca. And you're just cannot tour, say, as some 2 year Yamuba Aqua. And Mrada home. What me and quiet mistake. Now, won't be fire sick and now say, who insurance, you know. I said, would you seek a consult with that problem? The insurance doesn't go that way. And that's what you say.
No, what thing. The all kind of submission when you're doing. Per the policy, per the agreement, insurance. See, hold on, hold on. See, this insurance thing that I can watch, I'm ignorant about it. Okay, I'm not ignorant about this insurance policy and all kind of stuff. I'm not at all. Okay, because I'm a business student, so I understand this insurance thing very well. Share the insurance I will come with me. A policy is governed by law. A be answer to sabe shibi biase no. Ye chire conditions any was insurance in him. It's per conditions insurance me say na eka. Se condition that for instance okay comprehensive was said ye ne ho amra ICT.
Ana akoye
meba the wo can so you wrong. A third party. So ehun say different. The first say me makonya problem I have to get my indemnity from the problem menya no. It mean twen say companies na kan de amusu konya asem ansa na it mean akoyi scan bi abesolve me indemnity na makosta na say.
Wa sho. Asema me kanu. Kojo the person me try say. Insurance what treska pascal treska some treska. Na wo di jakotu fie mu a ma me kama say.
I'm an insurance company back. I'm an insurance company back.
Me try say o ma me nkasa.
Me say make a point in clear. You to discuss my insurance company back.
Na me make it clear say hello.
Meet you.
Ye treska na say wo di wo ye mistake. Akofa petrol akosi wo fie. Na wo no cigarette. Na say eja koto fie ni mu a opesi e be fa mi misika e de kotwa wo fie nika.
Uncle Nana Boatin. Baby a woyɛ adwuma yi. Me de yɛ mfato ho. Baby a woyɛ adwuma yi. Me gidi sɛ insurance ɛwɔ hɔ me boa. Enti fa ne sɛ woyɛ adwuma yi na sɛ bibi si wɔ adwuma na wo pra. Company ne bɛka sɛ yɛntimi kofo bi sika ma mehwe wa na.
Akofa adwuma sem e de abem. Na me di. Dabi. Miawa no. Pacho.
Nebio, oh, dear, you man will be
Oh,
so
Kujo, Ade. Me you want to say, a Juma Moya one. Ye were a Juma entirely, ye were a Juma Pabua. A Juma Pabua, honest to Uncle Share Juma Pabua. Now, question will come boo, be no near the Adina, you could see when I say pay. Insurance to be an over Musk.
And insurance because one yet dear, I was say
Oh,
you was said,
Kujo, Ade. We are who Aquile say when he be and our coffee a Juma Asamuji Abem. And I make sure say a Juma Samukrano, a Juma Adia Wa a year Sisha.
Anything about sure,
safety.
What over sure.
Yeah,
come on, see ya. Uma Manusia, and keep on wow. Maybe maybe some question. I don't see maybe some question. Maybe some question back on because when things been all equal.
Mamin kata, what's your Juma May? Hello, Kujo,
because I said my first submission say when things
it's okay.
It's be what's your tag? What should be come say this was channel. Upra, Juma one. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Oh, Kodo, where's oh my yen?
No, there be say I said now what kind of was some misana.
Machese, what busasem, and I walk off a Juma asem, a diabase.
Yes,
say a Juma no,
Metiasi,
one cassa all things.
There be
walk off
from my first submission. Me dem ma wana wunya ho ntiase no ena mam ko fa we buy but in my first submission
me ho tiase pa dem pese me pese me chere say self make or self-made mistake. Dem me pese me twe wadwen esisu. Our insurance on. This is the way. So one ni samran so now koye mistake na se wo kopra obi because and find insurance and some ambekata and some biaso. Akofa adwuma semaba. Adwuma mu no yase shempabwa we seche we say shehemet.
Nana boatin.
Osi dabi.
Nana boatin. Asema me bisai me say if all things be equal. If you understand that frame, what they say, what shall you just see the pepper say they say
okay. All things being equal.
Yes.
Matthias, yeah. All things being equal.
Yes.
Hello. To make a mistake, and all things doesn't be equal, you have a problem.
You Mati
insurance.
Matiwasi.
Material
chinasi. And I make sure say the question beside it was very simple and clear. Say, if all things being equal, I made it come man beside the other way around. I made things very simple. If all things being equal,
fine.
Investigation.
That's
What didn't check anything?
Yeah, that's it. Etinu Canada Japan. Ebe jina ho. Ebe kase. Eye se abain. Or bois jen in a hoon to a tuano. It doesn't need that. Many in because walk on crano, usi police for a nurse and almost escort to explosive a year, yadi cook a year, you know. Or share on one investigation when you had. What did you say? Police need behind your bay.
There was no escort.
In year 3. Police ni bia no enyetra me name insurance clock koye said here emrano city explosive insurance. I don't know how it is. So what emrano mu say what the sanyama we say kwa say police escort na say sa aduma ekoi anfa police aduma no anka ho according to the insurance agreement here.
I think say per more mining laws, you know. I was say transport explosives and
okay. More mining laws, you know. Necessary to my economy refuse to obey that law. Offer petition on some and the jebe and the canter. So what is there? Investigation. Again, investigation. Why investigation? Now, why would this say police and I escort to say I supposed to be a goya? Why say you talking about insurance? What do you some insurance? Insurance can defend themselves. It is a buying and who you me mobile. Let's say one more Acadian crack. Who free here? Or say who here? No, Bob was to say, will be Bob a cassette. Say this. What is this? Huh? IGPC talking is cheap. A bit that cost for Ghana. Talking are cheap. And to Assembia, no BDB, ever be canter, no the confusion, not what is this? Insurance in your day. For the first, you cry, wow, when you say, police be a escort to be a cow. What's that? Your time with sad insurance for? We know me and Lucicano. What do you say? I'm not down. We a mistake. All things be equal. Nothing you disobey. Insurance be uncovered. And that's what we say. So what's your fear? That's our insurance here. Now, dear, Quanacoto Petro, a basic fear.
And no, yeah,
that's yes,
and send an accident, and no accident, and they are deliberate.
And I say, I would check here, get it to me. Omedi, a yibi, a babo, a fibria, stroke, a damn biamu, and the fatty is a smoke by an air, now, maybe walk around a fire service straight. About it, hey, Mommy, I knew your home, Ghana for
Nana, na Finipa Crow. Okay, Nana Watting line or be afraid of Simo Honum. But I chase me call Sekondi Kwade was program no and China. I mean for Boba the last time I minty the Boba can I mean Kota Kwade quickly. Na Yanko for a year Jumedian and for Emblem town hall meeting. Boba.
Hello, Brakujo.
My mother be 5 minutes bina your program na Asha see what.
Me that na dina na boati ho yaw papa. Na boati ma di ho yaw papa. Se Ghana ni pa na boati e kasa asem we. And you take Hanover Hono, and you car and now BBC, men insurance, men call police. Where could you name hey? Mimi or life insurance, say obi bomb me try me a big bomb crowd, me call police station. As I see a true Nipakuni person here, then a compensation me mammy sika. Now what is in ending? Car do canam, car da, any car mono, and yet pet, registration, Europe. And I'm watching Ninana. Uko na ubisa na question uko register wo ka me wo cooperative enti me cooperative wo me bisa me say me can na how many years e wo say obi diploma sa insurance ni tua me so me die no so no e say insurance so ye den FCC anase wo de bo obi to a wo de abo obi to no wo insurance be cover say onipa ko no na wo bisa wo say wo ka no insurance nyema wana wo si da bi me amasiesie ma de waje atum no atworo ato enti say BBC a wo waje atum de dada sese wo ka ne bo obi die mu a wo insurance ne cover onipa ko na wo de wo besiesie na de wa tworo ato pepepe eye den na boate ka kire me say ka kire wo say ehun hia de Canada Japan e ka no na pan ese obemom kakra na boate BBC ho anu akoban akoje wai na wo Hanover ho en insurance mu ye nyina tie brochira Hanover man kan je wo si atema sinanso papa ne de adwen aba ne ye nyina ye dwendwen ho a wo si ho hia na kan Japan se mo se na boate please e be tum futuro mu ye ni o ye nya kwara ha
Matio Boba.
E nya kwara ha de kujo bisa no asema kujo bisa no obisa a good questions o se wuntimi nya no o se wuntimi nya no bra na boate me pesa na boate dani o ye no
Yo Boba era
ani bra basi na ye be ma nipa se bi show we no aye warning Ghana kura udo ka bobi ana BBC udo ka bobi kura enkrofon person de ma because insurance na nya adwuma yi ye hwe mo fish mo
to niam year what be gina say kujo diebe man ajabuati nana buati pacho
obaye na sibebre oboba fesi ya oboba so ani etene nka ewo ho no Thomas so gina kiri asemo mfa Thomas na me kota kware na avno mo ye remarks bo we pa ne dey need akota kware da kokoti 11 won sense me hu bi nya se nyina bi hu 11 dia ban ne pese oye elefa ho Thomas me ma be 5 minutes Thomas me ma be 3 minutes bi na ye kota kware
okay. Meda say good afternoon. Me chia onu atie ko nyina bompe.
Nyina ajo so.
And program no o ko fan life my area obesa ba na se no awi.
Mesa back.
Okay, any men kasa bebre but the na me kan kakra ne say sometime no wo na we referee so on. Inti say obi di ne view ba asem na wo di ato ho no so kujo asem na wo di ato ho no se me bamu na sata ma wo start na mini ho a na akoye se nipa mienu pe na ka se ba se ma program no ye hunu su ye because se program no ya okay fine me ma be kasa se obi won submission a kujo ho na wakani straightforward but me my idea na me de buy no so ka say one me nya adwene a ono de on ka ne de no njai me ma adwene na me de aba kujo so
okay yo
enya sa no a we be kwa aba we be sa kwa aba na omumienu kro ka say ma program no ye ayetie na hayen inti moving forward no me de kakra me kan say wo ba na me kasa ye pa because Holland so on emre bi etwa mu no play bi betito ho so on inti play bi betito ho no aban na nka se enam se play no insurance inti no ato ho dia ne play wura no omo nkoye ho dan ana so omo nkosiesie ho kwati ase where a town, a complete town, a disaster. Government have to come in quickly because people need to have shelter. The government in Burma, that is the right way for the government to do. Later, the government in insurance, a company new insurance negotiation be enough for the market no more yet. But a complete company no kujo. Mene kene Japonia until maminja na oba afide de abeka ya rasine program
okay so Thomas and then agent by quickly e kwata kware because town hall meeting no ashasia ekoso ewo Sekondi takwade aje se mpanyi for se kasa na santide enko na yenko tie senu bia omode egukwam e de ama yen ewo ehono
what is in 11 there's some misinformation, some propaganda, some political twist. Was that to them living on? And see, no be here. The ordinary linker say aban or read the budget we know you approve of them. No call out, no engage citizenry, no explain the policy nature one. And sana we implement. But that this time around, no, particularly on the minority side. They took a certain position in the first place. Was it one approve policy in Krapono? Okotuburi say ya approve budget, ya approve estimates, ya pass appropriation. The enabling legislation, Obama Finance Minister, work out the way to raise revenue. Now I expend them expenditure items a Parliament will approve. It was one approve. And so here, the Finance Minister under the direction of Cabinet, Obama Pro. Na watch him magana fuina when you want to say sabi wa ene yetne na no speaking for myself as member of parliament for Sekondi minim Sekondi for your needs minim western region for your development needs enya na ya pekon yen Sekondi market ya pretending dey ready yen roads ohia yen schools yen harbor expansion no nke kan win na if you aban ho and rightfully so but aban ye be say ho the obey dan na dam mpuntujuma Ghana fo ye hia no obotum na we provide me na yenya two options either then ankasa ebo contribute by way of taxes another aban obokwa bobosa na na so yenu the post 2017 aban obey mbozon ba wa bo yen economic indicators parameters about na no ejuma oye over the past 5 years na 3 before 2020 Ghana free na ye jwa dance but 2020 assembly to amansani na oye COVID-19 no sunson dunti aban na expenditure part na okoso onam dinti na aban odo bobosa tsen da man na wa plan do beye na otumo so Ghana free na na asen na so yabaka ya even before COVID baba no na aban banking sector crisis we see okroma ha 4.5 million depositors aban had to support them just so that when sika was out to banks arising out of the mismanagement of the banking sector no when collude one sika government raised significant use of money that was not programmed in the budget to support those categories of Ghanaian citizens. Again, energy sector debt, power purchase agreements are previous government or signing Nana Dodanko Akufo-Addo na ban obebe inheriting. Ni nano na yet today because the government is a continuum. It is aban bi a teacher a cow or that one aban foforo aba. Aban foforo do aban on tum nkede the ma cow no original ho na obi foforo we bebutua. Ghana ban na kasa do order den otumotu the miskani na. Into all this Obama yen a kawa aban wabono okoso. It is important that be yedru no aban obe initiate new revenue measures and ankasa yebe yan toboa ne yetume da eden yeda support yen development agenda. Of course, Minister for Finance nankasa wa ha obe chechirem one ma rationale one ma where we are coming from na bima aban pre 2020 na yekodru ewiaza manzani na wo bogana aban na baudo wo mpuntujuma or the uplifting of the economy and all the things that government was doing nankasa wahi let me not take the wind out of his sails na yamma no kwan na ombra na omba me in chechirim but above all no mamepede nine ya won't say there Ghana no kan ko nimpuntu ogine nine ni sem inti say na ye pay money ni ya then we have to be able to contribute to the development of our country. Obi bakado and now Uncle IMF. Oh, well, about to IMF. Now going to the IMF and enjoy the easiest option are available. Now either for phone now ring IMF for the one brother number support now into me yeah. But IMF yako. Solutions I wasn't made in yenim. But catch out there, cut public sector expenditure, social investments, reduce, public sector wage bill, reduce it, and increase revenue. Or your bossa baba can debt no than able to account. And see, if you know all this, now one casa able to initiate policy internally to ensure that encore IMF, but able raise revenue in-house. And whilst doing that, to make sure that revenue be introduced and a measure be introduced, no, able take care of the vulnerable. Now, and one who uncle one now a way to provide social support for the good people of this country. Now, optional order aban or consider. Nagana fina ye tandichi na otum oko dam route no by raising the revenue internally to ensure the development agenda wakodo. Mumma makase onya tintin no mama na akwaba kase to the great city of Sekondi. Yen krono wako form kakra, but in the finance minister nankasam de nanya odabo fiahe. Yen programs and of course request bia odane pondo no obehano we dumujuma otitiri yen sekunegwe 2022 budget program yi won medium term planning when you soon as we support him by making the revenue available to him no also benya ho kwan na why yengwa no na ma okeka bia Ghana phone na signal yehia bia no wazana yenti mzman do besi ha na be jama Mr. MC ma bot then win that.
Honorable Andrew Ejapa Mesa, yes, Wafa Bediche, Washe in Moncaneaso, now Saye Mrashe Bejani, Ewo Sekondi ha, Enodina no asem, Abedaye. Na Yeshia Mohawi, Yewo, Abamum Penifoni, a teacher will be or Monso, Modi or Menu Yam, Abeta Jumedi Chia, Yebefa Quenya Sonia Domedi, into baby Awobiano, Yebo Dia. Na wama edoma ehyiemu aha ehu se oha me pacho the dean of MMDCs Honorable Kojo Akwa osaye is MC for EKM na mayor owo Sekondi Takrade Metropolitan Assembly Honorable Abdul Mumin Isa nso aha Yewo Honorable Asa Mensa, ye MC for Mpoho. Ena Honorable Emmanuel Boache, ye DC for Wasa East. Afensi yewo Honorable Ebenezer Dazi, ye MC for Shama. Ena Honorable Dorcas Mensa, ye MC for Nzima East. Yo Dorcas Amwa yo enti mpanyimfo na etitru anwa behia ha yenyembo mudi kraye ma munyina akwaba na enam se yewo live ni ntime nsa ebre kra mefa akwanya yiso na mede kasamafo odikan ababa bebetudwa the regional minister wono no wo hwe atoye mantem nyina so yebeje na no asemefa 11 sensem no ho ni din di Honorable Kwabena Ochida Komensa.
Minister for Finance, Minister for Information, Emde Yerabobo Mesa, MP for Sekondi. Ni acknowledgement ni nya so mara meji na ono so na meda akomanim mima wonya aha wajimenya ado ewiabri oyemidopi de aban ye ne nhihye de opedo ne Ghana for kasa no odinadwen oda akire Western region so de yenya yenim there Western and Central de yekor teteno na nko friend Western province intinde Western region for so ye na aso oye regional minister for Central region Mame Justina ono so wa beka yensa ewo Takrade into Western region affair in the earlier we abidi mijidi de kasa no oye kasa krope levy ni senti na sede Ghana fo yenya yegitum mo oyeye meke pa 2017 na ye president Nana Ado Dankwa Akufo-Addo okay the Ghana beyond aid. In fact okay the masem wancher na mekasra ai na yera na nankatia asmo okay ne de Ghana beyond aid oye psychological issue. Sai nankasa yebeja atu ye nwodo de yebe ma Ghana wujirade nando ai nankasa ye de na honzen ye na adwen ye sika de yebe ma nyama ye wo Ghana oya ai nankasa na sede sesen na adwen ye de. Inti President Baya this budget cycle ye kan e-levy no. Then him da asama President kan da no bi na nankatia otimu no ne time no why de ne wa aba no nti question na me bi sa mo won de sisia na ebinum wali opposition to the idea of helping ourselves to build our own country. What do we do na me de ma me hu ni de dem levy or levy bia or yesronko or ye levy a obobo ye nyara na or ye levy Ghana or the Ebequenim. Denton America them. one levy no was one yɛde ba bɛboa mbebu ne nketesia na wɔda set up our business na wakɔ n'anim ɔtɔ bio yɛde ba bɛyɛ rose ɛwɔ Ghana ha Western region yɛka ho ɔtɔ ba asa wɔse telephone na yɛ use no ne ho akade no onsi pɛ because only 50% of Ghanaians ne nya them access no nti yɛpɛde yɛ bi ka ho na ikrasi biara yɛwɔ Ghana biara no so ayɛ ne nsake bi na ɔkyerɛ dɛ sika ne yɛ regye no yɛwɔ ni senti na no mfa so ɔbɛbra ayɛ na Ghana fo nti ame ɔno nti no ma muhu dɛ levy na aban ɔdere ba no ɔnyɛ kakai ɔyɛ ada ɔreba magana wetumpon na yɛn Western region so ayɛ ne yɛnya ne kyɛfa in fact Western region de na nado danko Akufo-Addo na aba ne bɛyi ayɛ yɛnya bi sɛ Ghana cake no wɔkyɛ ya ayɛ yɛnya bi tedam obi aka no Oliver Twist will always ask for more na me de ɔma menka kor free SHS bɛyi Western region yɛne mbɔfo ma wɔwɔ school ɔyɛ sika ɔyɛ oil no taxes no wɔgyegye bom no wɔde yɛ free SHS Western region yɛne mbɔfo ma a wɔkɔ school you move from 13,000 enrollment to 27,000. Ntoche de MPP aban woji sika wode yade man Western region ye de yenye bi. Nti so wode e-level liba na wa akra da wode ba ba ya. Na megide de no mfa so no mo beda ni biara de misike wode be man so Western region ye de yenya no mfa so. Hello. Otodibio. Yenya yenim de Ghana. One of our biggest challenge as a country, only youth unemployment. Western region, 62% of the population of Western region is made up of the youth. It is a unemployment or Ghana. Let the youth know so or Western region, young children. It is a babaji into Boadi. Na said they are bois in Bebun, which we know one under. Now, me as regional minister for Western region, there's no way I will never support it. There's no way I'm ever going to say I'm never going to support it. I will support it today, tomorrow, and forever. Osande, Ghana population here, one adult population, or voter register. No. Voter register 18 years and above. The monk of Frinya will to me. Now, so I shall call for a band with my employer one. We're only 681,000. 681,000, a divide by 17 million on our voter register. We only have 5%. Techere yambanos woluko school no be school po JHS. Woluko school no be school SHS. Woluko school no be school what tertiary leveler. They have only 5% chance. 5% chance to work in the public sector. So clearly, that can never be their plan A. Their plan A is working for themselves and working in the private sector, which is 95%. Now, me today, the MP take decision. You should be a chance in war. In war, near the ne, ye better ye bread. This year, by budget to banka crack. There they are bois, young before when you do my another one uncle say they create one job so that. Let me give that. Say ya wofa, anaye nua, anaye ankla. Sika dama ye nya ye jejeno. Aye de boy ye mbofo made. Ense do biara ogwane firi ho. Ense do biara ordinary honde na na adweno ye de ne. Odo support madam sika ye nya ye tumi tua na ye mbofo made wonya adwuma ye. Mpocho nya de papa. Hello. Na ibi maka. There. Ghana yaji diskepi deti na yusu yepede eje ka ho ebi maka de yaji diskepi ne sika no kra ebi wo kra na ye hwede ye mankofo wiewia me gidi de me issue si onye issue a ono kra se do ba up usande every year Ghana ye population okosoro nti mo beda ni bia every year ye nya sika ni pi ye da ye dwuma ma Ghana so ayede ne wa konenim. Because population no consume no enti minke danji jiska na mfenye otodusu ebiem sika na wose mewia no Ghana ewia Ghana sika police watch wodoko court ewia Ghana sika unless ewu de bia ekokota nkofo o achi wona wo so ewia ba ni skede ewia ba ni skede dem ska so je na de another ka dem na de tuaka intimate when we talk about waste I find it sometimes extremely difficult. In fact, Auditors General's report or latest one. Infractions no woman no. On your infractions are oil and I do not quit in our banner brain obey. 2014 NDC for infractions or woman or 2015 connections away or GMPC or woman. Ninya and all those people are going through the process. Because Auditors General report no ya or the Bread Parliament first. The Parliament what's nado. Now one away a corporate one direct on where they should be dealt with. Into yen and I do now ban be no create problem no. When you are and say accountant general Bestramo RCC. As some be two name the day. So now accountant for no employer one yada or mommy MMDCs and one employer one. So any penny and Cosiada why then why permanent. Also begging. Into yen and I do out to Jubilee. No obi no bona why you walk. Ebia if you come and as a Sekondi and now you also na kede na na do no yede o create problem inti Ghana is canon today most of oil is waji ya western region ye bi no the maso de misike minim there ye jeje so on your waste you be use it for the purpose for which this country needs to get it inti amede se michina ha western region rose esre e bi ka ho as at the last count no western region rosa na na do na ban obey or the mayor no or 1,800 kilometers of roads no way western region also yafa contractor 120 contractors all kodo inti roads no yeguda yele ye takwa road ye ke wogudu wole ye interchange why 30% ejuma yes ye be bia ye e batakra the asphalt valley ya na yele ye the maso na Sekondi takwa do to Sekondi double road on so much contractor obe start ehwe ye budget mi sisi ya kese ya obi in the Sekondi market wa capture nti all that I want you to understand is that sidamana na nkatia kan sidamana na adodankwa okay there we have to move beyond aid no this is not the time ebinom esere westall anwia kodugu ye garim. This is the time obiolo wadwini bia obotum da aboa ma 11 wa akodo no odena honden odobosom ma waye. The other issue wa ba happen there and the 11 yaja Ghana fo won be kire won Ghana fo won be kire won Ghana fo be kire won ma me minim ne there demi 11 ehiafo won tue bi ehienyi biara ni wa obetue bi and this is the analysis I make. Ghana so what could be ohia poso you be in the whole year sika bed ni sema or 70 Ghana cedis 11 so e betwe say 300 Ghana cedis a transfer na the misika no entua 11 bodo inti ya find that teacher nya 2,400 and obi e army 1,800 and our policeman 1,600 dem me pay na ban otua ma no say every day be ni mu 100 Ghana cedis na transfer dem levy entry. Because 100 Ghana for 30 days or 3,000. Into them levia ohiafu untrebide. Obilin to make a chem de onya de papa. The yenya yenim. To whom much is given, much is expected. And for that reason, I na nyame why na dum yenya be more than 3,000 a day. Let me do the Ghana man ya me more. So I'm putting one kasi with money 3,000 per Ghana ya more. We are the middle income. We are the people in the middle income. No money biara so no I want na why ye no obo mama no ede ne okonenim. We cannot shirk our responsibility as middle income people and turn around and blame the same government. I mean the mejidi dey see enya ye so mutwa no ma ade no why ede ne we gina. Adi so ade wo de beye no onye high life bi na ye de kwakobo. Oye yem brent ye na nketesia wo no adwuma ye pede obakrom onu nti na ye support. Oye ye rules a ye pede obakrom onu nti na ye support. Oye ye network a ye pede ebi ko bebiara o Ghana onu nti na ye support. Na mejidi dey western region I Kobna Ochida Komensa I am for e-levy. Thank you very much.
Honorable Minister, yedase pa and some Honorable Minister can't see near meti wo ma ye me de and say aban ne dwen ahia for ho enti no say wa obeye e-levy obeye e-transaction and asa obeye momoda kro up to 100 Ghana cedis e-levy no wo de untua bi say be ya ye be bossa bi omo ni bi o makohoma ho ban ebio takrade ha say ne Sekondi ha ne region mu ha nyinanim say mabunu dooso o say wo pepa esese etimi keka yensa ase ne enye sky de bebo mabunu no adwumasem ho akohoma ne enya bi nso ayi akwan amamu Honorable Kwabena Ochida Kumensa a oye Western Regional Minister na no asem no minister yedase na ne edru so ye be fremia me sister Penyi a oye soafo from Finfin Mantem mu Oko Central Regional obi ase marigold enye sika koko esosene sa Honorable Regional Minister a ye friend no Justin Honorable Justina Marigold Asan ye beje na no asem sisia.
Finance Minister, the Western Regional Minister, Mami New Benin, or can't say me or say, me are so or her. I'm a man tassy. I saw papa, you are mechechim. Mechechima, wakoye. Na yan brother, Deputy Minister for Energy. The man has assuming your Benin, Yenya if you man tomb her, or ye the Information Minister, Honorable Kojo upon Kroma. Honorable MMDCs. Impenyu fa ye twehye mo ha ende wa ye nyankopon na adom da ye nhia na ye nzi ye ho nkomo yankasa na za wankoye za wakoye nyina ye mbobon tafa na ye ntumi efenzi dwuma magana onfa ne tampemfra mi gya ha benyu age papa am do de me maxi na me kene ye menyu age o Sunday me hwe nipa wo dem hana o hyem nkran Oma mentodo, oma mehude, za oman penyin nana adudanko akufado. Wakofa bade yembobo hu, yendwenjwen hu, onso odewana kumado. Muhunde, wapede wonyanta se sronko. Ne isu mamenkwan sheke side, za yebe kan obobwa ma, za yenta se. Mankwofu biwaye mwaye mwense. Ma yentum po yencheche ase, ende yetumi ache aso, sande, yana papa waha, obobwa hen, madamanta ase nusu, wetumu wa yechuma. Near Canada man, none less a ha, ye pede ye shedder, yan papa, yan dofo, yan president, Nana Adodanko Akufado, now membui, or ye the listening government. Or ya bana ote, yanusufre, no ote, yanasem, no pedeza, ye pen, no oyamahen. Intinde ye wahade, ye bezi Mississippi, ye Rebecca, ye bottle at chadren, na ya boa, magana, etum, afanetam pefra. Me James the doya one day, or my young one semcacra. I am penny for Mr. Hon, Minja and Mubakakra. What's the wazi aye yen? Na wara. But we found some day. Was I a yen? Not a day in my air cane. Wazi aye ye? Na wara aye. Zayen penny for work canza, president, canza, or my money na ye can ye day. In bread do. In bread do pum wabrodo. The yankasa ye who ye becan your wabum. Na ya bua ni ya jijin kakra magana ne fapem na ya pede otu emekan etumu abem kwahwa no na nyipa kakra bi, that's the formal sector a wotua taxes me edubo o man ho brand kakra baby, the informal ones no wontua bi inti dam e-levy or ba wabobua ma be 85% of this informal sector we tumu abaka ho maza o mampanyi na na membui yere kade ya bagiji damaska yeza boa ma yana kwan imbebu na wonye adwuma ye na za okaka ho nyina wetum abem ode ye nyina ye hwe na ye boa na otum obem meka ne dam no na mo nyina mo nyimba ya adwende sisi ye hwe the financial sector na ye adwuma ko banka first na ke nyina ye hwe sika bia ode ko bank e wo kapre pede de ko to bank the mazinya we twem nti ehwa ensesa abakakra mesima yensikasem no wontotoe waye wo bank no na chede yefa kwan bido na yetumi ezi da menkita ho no wo financial business na yeye no ne dam no so no omam mu no ayerebu no yebokaw anade onkoye mahen nti na ode no hu behia de emi na wonya yetase na nda dwumezi ayezi yegye pin na yegye tum de ode yeso yefa kwan fofodo a yebotum yaboa ma mfaso a owo dam business ni mu de yezi sika yeze mu na yeregi sika anade yezi sika ye ntotoye no so ne ho mfaso no omane wetum enye bi ma yakeka abom ma aboa hen ma za osi enyu ado de yeze omane sika ne beye no so yetum yezaye na meka de waze ayeye na wara na ayeyi na no hu behia asem kru bi so ho oso omane ye hia na ahie no man oya woze oya meze tini hu hia papa da ye ka bom da men ka bom ohia se yante ye hu ase yanka ye no ambom ye ntwa na monkor yandwe na adwene ko yanka kasakor ne ye ntu da mana mona ye beka echi in the covid yo be enyame be ya adwen de omampanyin wete Ghana fo woni sufre papa omampanyin na na mani na membu onye na ezini ye papa osan the covid by for 1 year anya na ye ejuma abana ejuma kankan teacher fo to okeka ho when you be raise we ejuma for 1 year we're in the house and we're still collecting our salaries ya bana onya aza am da sama mekanam da wantase papa na ninta asenye de sika kro na ayere ye ejuma mo ze etua hen yankwa ejuma yankwa bebiara aban ozyen sika ma hen inti da ma bene ya bana senyame ya adom mane se kesika ozeboa Ghanafo manyana sitinem oyeboko zema hen no be bisa the accountability of the monies that we are going to collect. This is the assurance we want to give to the Ghanaian public that senyame ya adom na so mampanyin ne academics kana ozi ye ejuma ma amena wo nyina ye hotoen ya tibi dampo wa Ghana ha de ye betumi aso kanea for 6 months ye ntua kapreba insuso de mara ye ntua bi ne nya sika kru yara owo Ghana ha yara ne 22 dam anamo no nti dam sika no ho asama ye kan levy anamo no ya yetu oyeza emina owo ye kan ye na adwene bom ye tase ne yetu dam anamo no ya ne ho mfaso no yenya yenzi nwie nti betoto sre obi biara wo dem ha de omboa na yentum yemfanye za ye yema omane akọ n'enyim na menua panyin oye onobo kobi reka za wazi sika no se yenya wazi beye oye akwan oye MPP amambu ya yerbui na dama beni waye akwan asin aman biara oman panyin biara waba kasinara nanso da ye kanye de ne ho behia de ye bi ka ho osande insurito ekwan rututu ekwan a ye no so ebinu mo ho wo ikro kakra beem na san na kanke kwafo wo botwa wan dobai waza abakrom na azasa bebi wa kare nkomba oye zin papa de onya ne ndobai wi a oze babakrom no wa ye bebi owo ho nti se nyame yen na dom ye nya damasika ya yere kenya oboboa ma yetum ekwan kakra mbode de ho nyina ye open it up emma ye nuanom so wo ekro ne chi hon wetum abakrom na nduaba na ye rezin ye bi enyi bebi mpo ma wo fi won so wetum was aboboa. What is the youth asking for? Mayen imbebu no hwa wo pe decent work waye obia pe adwuma na ho tew yakono waye na so sesika enyi ho adagye enyi ho bibiara enyi ho ebotum weze pia ho na obeyezin papa inti se nyame yen na dom yenyina ye kan yen tan bo ano na yetu de ma na moni masika ba imbebun obenya adwuma na ho tew adwuma oyakono na mbebu na so wenyu abegye osande won fambra kakra yeye imbebun wenyu agye papa am wo finfin mantom aye wo kan bibi there finfin mantom ho no ye one of the poorest regions na ya na mentase papa na chirimi ye matase osande obi ape abana adwuma waye na eyi no mampanyere ka chen de se nyame ye na dom na se levy obobaze emi na wo ye gitum ye zenyana komata echi na so ba oye entrepreneurs ahona wankasa so wo ye hon adwuma obehjem kena ya sha simple dadaw ekọ mbiambia ni bia na the district ni bia ye wo enable youth oya use a we universities a wo pa bibi wa ye wo agric sector we bu factory ama won wa ka won ho abom na aba no am won machines a wankasa was ye won ejuma nti akwanya no wo ho de emi na wo ye beka ye no ho abom madama na mo no ye etu ye that transforming the country no wetum wa bem make accountability asem na obiri hwe manyim na masem na America mpeda me sidudua o sande se ye man panyini wa ye bida onyime ye no gudu soro ye se sika bo manyima papa yi on fan sha no ho or the fewer people won't use Damascan or yeah, a great sector. Yefa baby planting for food and jobs. I mean my MC either. It's in America. Planting for food and jobs, you know. Your fertilizers it was heavily subsidized. Make my be done because I was signing for them way bill in Timetase. Yes, the man one 120 cedis for marketer, they gave it to them at 60 Ghana cedis. That's improved seeds. Seeds now would be also heavily subsidized. Oye moko, tomatoes, naba, a bro naza, okay, can make wafunus would be. Was sounds so ye share assemblies, no? Ye Fred Bibi planting for export and rural development. Assemblies is kabotin. Share in Zama would do one mensin I may mensin on me or ye abe. Intimate first stretch, no may 50,000 seedlings. Yes, milk for free a young Jessica. Ye be your sons who be 50,000 seedlings, coconuts. Yes, milk for Sikani beside the young hen. Nina yaza waba or mampenin another penny for one soya was it be bois and one wahoo into and so. Free SHS assembly, you can't dodge your boy. O Sunday, so where Ubakor and you need to fear. Na and you know, secondary school. I read to a box, Simonzama, as the bill to Nukotokum, or read to books in the Yama school uniform. One more track suit, and that is what is happening because I'm about free SHS. Intiminims America, young boy and stream, young Kasembi, Zamepada Mekainde, in bread the Emmy now. Yakanyan hubum, Yajika cry, Yazabua, ma or mampenyin, then you strategy who know war, there Obama or money, Etremicama, Yankasa, and Wadrian, my young Quamanonze, Yanko Bobosan, a tomb, a bim. Yakanadamano, no, yes, shade. Because there mampenny ban or cademy, them taxi if you made them taxi if you or no questioning. Now your tax, I tax a condom and poo, Wagana ha. Oh, yes, if you don't know, you can go and find out. Nyama bebre na ye tax, nuisance tax, yan pape bay, or yidin ye nefiho. Now, COVID impact on the country has been so severe. No nyaga na nkote na COVID ni impact no, or ye kese, or zemahen. Amana kese, wankasa wajina wanandu nyinara, on sumpo wohodo. Na shagana, pape, wanyi yenzin, buanokra. Even we gave out food to people who really need food to eat. These things we did it. Minimda some American, honor an American show. As some na yepada yet on na yeke na mom ebimu na wa ye tintintiniti na me pade ye be fia kon na emi na wo ye hu de omani ye hene man omani ye ya hene za na emi na wo ye kambo man ye butumi ya ye ne ye dembra wazi aye ye na wara na aye ebredu do yankasa ye tum ye he na ze ye ye ne ye na ye ka de biom no e levy obobaza na ho fason obey bebre o sande ya ye very specific the oya kwan oya mbabu na juma no ye entrepreneurs a was able to one asen it other sources of funding now obaga na han you bought me a channel into other places ono so ye here there ye develop ho akwaneze this I mean for central region ameba wanyama nwanwa the menu benyin ka there western region the share of the cake mwezi papa mwenyamu cake ni mwezi ni ye na finfi manton so oye hen omampanyin onye na ezi ni ye be fan asphalt wo gudu worry contractors who had abandoned site for a very long time they've come back to site yeah what trunk rota menyo ka say so oye nebe na wotwe bien na ye nyina ekehye mu wonkran ma wa hyede oye road minister on sanso fangu ye mu fam even anopay what's the answer selecting critical roads and me critical roads me western region ha me de me nua benyin so was select neze enti anomon sonkwa oman panyin na naban wa sha simple wo to dadaw di se nyame ye na dom na se ye jai busabo wo amanaze na ye boye ho de ye betua kakra obeye fe ayenyi ka de ebotumo de nsa ka ho de ma so mutua kakra ne yetumi ayedam ekro ebien anade ba sei ama ye benu nyinara yetumi aka de omambu na yerebu no yaso ye ka ho be na yerebu me mama kasam war na da me peda me sranyi de enkankan nara me mamenom. I want the women to support this cause and support it very well. In the sense that, if you're mbesiafo ya hoto hen o. Mbesiafo na mbesiamba na mbebunu ya hoto hen. Into them asemi arekin, minsusunyi there will rise up and then support this e-levy cause and support it with all the energy in us. So that in the next week too, we'll know that yes, really, we really want to push the nation forward. Mesre, yam church adwen. Zobi wa kan wa to wadwen na wa ye wensen mentasen ndem panyifo wa ha obechem no nten dem ankofo bi wo kan no nten dem obi rusu ni tigidigidi osande offer there on plan dem man wusu wuti mepeda enyemadwen anyemetase ni Sunday yaze e-levy ne mfaso yaze mfaso a yebenya wo e-levy yaze atugwa na onyeza omampanyin na napamfo wobeziga na fo hwambo yada hona se nyankopon onkan ye nakoma nyankopon onbo ye ho ban na nyankopon onma ye na adwe sonko ne mfanta e-levy echi number ye the reality. Thank you very much.
Me catch mo say wokɔ central region na sɛ wote marigold a ɛsen sika kɔkɔ sɛ mo a mahu agudi esronko a nyankopɔn de na dom yɛ so ɔmɛboa Ghana de hye a ɔwɔ mfimfin mantam wɔ amamuo mu ensɛm a ɔkan yɛ nneɛma fa a wɔ ma ɛyɛ aba a atwema adwena kɔ nneɛma bebree so ɛne sɛ President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ɛbrɛ pa mu ɔne Ghanafoɔ di ne yie. Okay, so ye be a friend in nuisance taxes. Also on person or the ahoma beso Ghana for con. Now you're moving from taxation to production. And unti or ye VAT every real estate so, or ye VAT every domestic airline ticket so, or ye VAT free selected imported medicine so, or te VAT so my before no mutual 17.5%, at the call 3%. Kaya ye for sebi or sorry I was on a pine, no namu jomukra, near yere na bunukomu, agenetor. President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo na bada yenti, or ye kaya ye market toll free ho, wabe ye road toll, or ten kanya nin so, cover the bar yen so no, or making sure say nyan suo kwa. Afie twa mu nyina unim se na vehicle income tax president no say me enje se be ya hyenkafo ombenya omofa ahudie yesi onsom woni nipa ndenso se dru ska de esiska ne bema mejidi se Ghana ha uhu se abufu aba na yesikasem eche se a contractor for se e wo finance ho adwumayefo praketia ye hwe finance ho and ye pacha de finance or it is a finance or the did say vote na da ho na Ghana fo ani da so nyeska ketwa nanso so ne nyamia daroma eye osoafo a wo hwe sikasem so wo Ghana ha ba kope Honorable Ken Oforiata ono ankasa tu ne nan abepiem e wo atoye mantemu ha se sika no anisuade hunu no wo ho okoka budget ne ediska no beye nyina wo kan me ebo ensem ye pani nyina na sika no wo kofa wo hen e wo covid bremu a wiase afana ba bia man ahodo okwa ahokyere mu entime ma mekasa anwa yemfa kasamu no emma Honorable Ken Oforiata no mekere ye the escam.
Good evening. Good evening. When was me and this for you are hand to me chow. A cake, aquaba. As some drink, you and colleague ministers, could you, deputy ministers, energy, information, and ministers, Western region and Central region, honorable MMDCs, clergy, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Many Minister of Information, I deal, no say, my speech, Mayor Obrofum, na questions, Yakaya Yakrum, Asem. Let me really thank you for the opportunity today. It's really great to be here and to be out of the office. That was the last week. We went to Koforidua, and it was really good to be out to hear once again what the people are saying about all the e-levy issues and other things that you pick up to help you with your budget. And ebeba kwambi jama nyina ne se ekwanso norma efe enso edisika enna eto nti yendwen ho sa ntoboa nso de unkokro bia obi afa ntoboa just natural na ne esese ye ne se esese kire mumu ne ayde beye and senior yenyina citizens and also yebeboa. So thank you very much indeed for this, and I'm expecting that by the end of these sessions there will be a firmer understanding. I don't think it's really an issue of a fight, you know. I mean, in my view, the NDC or the MPP, we fight for these things because of our patriotic, you know, disposition, but a different understanding of where the policy orientation should be. So they are a social welfare party. We are market-oriented and right to center, and therefore, for us, at the core of what we believe in is the sovereignty and right of the people, of what they have to get, what they're entitled to as citizens, and we find that as inviolable that we should protect. So, as a center-right party, market-oriented, when you look really at what President Akufo-Addo has done, there has never been interventions of that level with regards to secondary school education, health care, the underprivileged, etc. Because, you know, you always try to compare the various governments, and in the end, you are comparing 4 years of an Akufo-Addo administration to incredible achievements. And then you look at 8 years of other administration, and even with Nkrumah, you look at, you know, more than 11 years, 51 or 54, when he became head of government administration through 57 to 66. So it's quite a miracle what the Lord has used our government for, and therefore what really is propelling us to do what we are doing. So I think the NDC stance about not having e-levy may be misplaced, but it's not because they are not patriotic. But when we do the numbers, you realize that really we are at a point in our nation's history where we need to do things differently to be able to resources.
The best internet radio for Ghanaians abroad.
That are confronting us with regards to youth employment, which affects all of us and really goes to the dignity of our people who are home, the issue of our debt, so that we can start mobilizing our own resources. But to be able to do that is to ensure that all of us contribute. I mean, the argument could be killed immediately if you say that right now, as Madam Central Region mentioned, that we have only 2.4 million people contributing taxes for the whole nation of 30.8 million. Now that can't be right, we know that. So even for this year's budget, for example, and this is for Kek to tell his people, that if there are 21 million mobile money subscribers, at least, okay? And then we are saying in the budget that we have, 7 billion that we are trying to raise. Okay. So let's say 7 million people now are going to be paying from the 2.4. That means it's 1,000 CDs for everybody for a whole year. Divide that by 12. And that's what we are asking Ghanaians then to pay 85 CDs a year to support all of this. If all the 21 million people pay into 7 billion, then we are asking Ghanaians to pay 300 CDs per each person. And that divided by 12 will give you about 25 CDs, a month, Spurious
Waves, the best internet radio for Ghanaians abroad.
But even beyond that, is us saying that the first 100 CDs, i.e. 3,000 CDs in a month, will not be part of it because we are shielding the vulnerable. So you begin to ask, what the resistance is. And then you ask us why we are bringing that. And you see that, the world is changing. It's changing tremendously. Where therefore e-commerce, and virtual business, it's now becoming the order of the day. So for example, we had 78 billion CDs of transfers in 2016. In 2021, the year we've just left, it was 953 billion, meaning it's going to go to the trillions. And you are beginning to see how the economy is shifting. So in the same way in which we abolished certain nuisance taxes because they were not relevant and we needed people to be energized. Also the realization that the economy is shifting. And if it is shifting, then when do we get a head start at it to begin to understand that business and also therefore to be able to raise the revenue required? Because you can see 78 billion moving to 953 billion, and you can see the trillions coming. And the opportunity, therefore, with digitalization to also then move to all of us being a part of it, And this sense that, this is pernicious, etc., etc., you then ask your opposition people exactly where we are going to get this type of resources, in an economy that is growing, that is getting modern, that certain things must be needed.
Waves, the best internet radio for Ghanaians abroad.
But, yes, I do finance, and I need to constantly think about the money. But it always has to be within the framework of who we are as Ghanaians, the pride that we have as Ghanaians. And so what is it that a small country like ours could lead the political emancipation of Africa? What is it that the Lord has endowed us with to be able to do that? And you ask the certain, destiny that is the Lord has given us. And we need to really understand that. So for 60 years since Nkrumah initiated this democracy, this independence, etc. It took 60 years for the AU to also, all of the presidents, to ratify an agreement to bring the Africa Continental Free Trade Area to be headquartered here. Okay, so the first 60 years ago was one of political independence. And now, obviously, the world has reached a point where investments and trade is what drives us. And as the good Lord will have it, that headquarters happened to be in the time of President Akufo-Addo, lobbied, fought hard for it, and it has come here. So we have to lead this issue of investments and trade as a center. And we have that possibility. Now, the possibility of that is also that we are going to get a lot of investment into this place. So we need to create our own viable economy.
The best internet radio
very
for Ghanaians
substantially endowed, rich Ghanaians, so that they can team up in either joint ventures, etc., and we can build the infrastructure to become a regional hub. So not only do we now start the political independence fight, we are now going to lead Africa in the emancipation on the investment and trade part. But we need to do our part. We need to have the resources to build the infrastructure so that there's a reason for why we become a continental hub. And this is the opportunity that we have to do that. But, you know, the president always talks about 3 pillars to our Ghana Beyond Aid, and therefore when we went on to do the Obatampa program. And that, the 3 pillars are basically our political independence, you know, the economic growth, and then the spiritual. Because we Ghanaians, you know, well, we started with a wonderful hymn here, and we shall continue, because that's our being, okay? So then he also broke sword for the National Cathedral. And the National Cathedral, you know, is going to become a symbolic issue for Africa, our spirituality and the leadership of it. You know, for me, maybe sitting at my desk, I would say, okay, that's a lot of money that people, not the government, but people are going to mobilize to do that. But what does it really mean? 600 million people in Africa? That's interesting. Most of them can't go to Israel. That's interesting. So if 10% of these people come through, because we now become the new Jerusalem, and each one, usually when you talk about tourism spend, each one spends about $2,000 to $3,000. I look at the numbers and I'm like, wow, spirituality is good. It has its own blessings, and we should praise God for that. Amen. Okay. So I just want to cast a picture, you know, for us as to what the Ghana dream is. You know, political independence, economic emancipation, and spiritual elevation. And that combination is just so powerful for a sustainable country that then, you know, moves on in a way in which a dignity of our people are enshrined. I keep talking about the dignity of our people because when you look at the population, it's quite scary in terms of the extent to which we have the youth. You know, so literally, you know, some 6 million people will have to be accommodated for jobs. I think by 2030 we need to be finding 9 million jobs for people. So we have to move in a hurry, and government cannot support all of that. But we know that we are an entrepreneurial nation. Something happened and we killed that spirit. Because if you get the old names in Takoradi or Cape Coast or in Fansiman or wherever, you begin to see where our forefathers, you know, built up through coconut or cocoa or whatever to build these. So you see these big houses along the streets and you wonder what happened. Where did we lose this thing, you know, to now have this aspirations of poverty and the lack of empowerment, and this the president has very little tolerance for, and is saying, let's break this. Let's find a way for our people to recapture the glory of old of being entrepreneurs. Okay? So that's where we are leading to. And therefore, when we talk about the Youth Start program, a 10 billion CD program, to really elevate us, encourage people to take the risk, for us to reduce the risk, make sure that there are skills, enablers, technology, and also financing to be able to do that. That's where we are. So we're talking about e-levy, and you then begin to talk about Ghana as an idea of a prosperous, confident people, who are clearly putting the black star in front of all things. Of course, all of us, last week, were really sad when, I think there's a country called Comoros. I don't even know where it is. But it brings a sudden, reason to pause and to ask ourselves, can we continue in the same way? Whether in football, whether in taxes, whether we can continue to pretend that we don't have a problem, that we don't pay taxes, and we should, are all things that we should now begin to confront. And I think this really sets, the floor for us to really think through and say, no. We are not a people whose head should be bent, but a people whose head should be held high. And I think we can all acknowledge that since Nana Akufo-Addo's presidency, there's a certain lift in our walk. There's a certain steadiness in how we feel about ourselves as Ghanaians. And as enumerated with the COVID-19 time, you could clearly see a president who cared about the people. So with all of the progress we made economically, in 2020, we had to pull back, and using the resources we had to be able to ensure that our people did not go the way that Africa did. So even as the world and Africa's growth numbers fell, at least Ghana was able to keep a 0.4% growth. But more significantly, the issue of ensuring that we had our water, we had our electricity, we even had food, from us and from supporting the faith-based organizations to do that. And as the minister mentioned, in most African countries, civil servants were either made to go home or were paid half or a certain proportion of their salaries. That was all shielded from us. And we're saying that now that we have all enjoyed that benefit and we know where we want to go to be able to support our debt, to be able to build the infrastructure that we are talking about, and to be able to ensure that our youth are employed. Let's come together, start this new tax handle, which is really going to grow as the way in which we grow, so that we can all be part of it. So during this period of 4.5 years, I think we spent over 40 billion on education, about 15 billion on enhancing internal security, another 14 billion on healthcare, and 18 billion on other flagship projects. And this is within 4 years, not 8 or not increments 15. So you may have some issues, as some people shake their head, as to what has occurred, but the numbers don't lie.
Ghana Waves, the best internet radio for Ghanaians abroad.
Most people are better off than they used to. So the sovereignty of the people and making sure that we live well as a confident people and people who earn their way, is paramount as we think through, this whole issue of our philosophy of how to fund ourselves so that we don't become dependent on outsiders, including particularly the IMF. So that's the challenge and that's the plea that we bring here to let you know that, look, we are a country with a manifest destiny for greatness, and we should, in whatever way we can, reclaim that role and that, in our mind, is through this new tax handle of e-levy. So we understood there was a lot of talk about it being too high. So we listened to the NDC, listened to stakeholders, the churches, etc., and therefore went out to the telcos, telephone companies, and said, so we had some conversations with them, and even they realized that really this Ghana pie can be expanded considerably, and therefore agreed to what we are then beginning to call burden sharing. So they removed 0.25 from it, which effectively then ensured that the citizens' costs came down, but we're still able to maintain the revenue, which is important. We're still able to maintain the revenue to be able to tackle the debt, the infrastructure, and the employment and other things.
Ghana Waves, the best
As you know,
internet
our
radio
region is
for
also
Ghanaians
getting
abroad.
particularly perilous with regards to security. You can see issues in Guinea, issues in Mali, issues in Burkina Faso, etc. And therefore, we also have to spend quite a bit of money on security. So all of this is important for us to be able to do that. So we want to avert any explosive issues on our hand. I think the last time the road minister did some infrastructure work, we ended up with the need for about 78 billion CDs in the next few years to be able to do all the infrastructure that we want to do. So when we look at the budget, and let's say for Western region, you have the Sekondi market, we have the Fiankwanta, then we have the double road. All of that comes into what we need to be able to fund it. But there's no way we can forget the Western region in the things that we are doing. Nnuanom, nea yɛka ne sɛ fakwa yɛdui deɛ yɛnte e-levy ase because ɛhɔ no ɛna survey our total independence and ability to fund our future would occur. So at the center of all of this is how do we build a stronger nation in a way in which we can support all of our aspirations, but then also have a people, who are entrepreneurs, are building factories, have jobs, employing people, so that the dependence on government jobs are reduced. I mean, currently we have about all of our revenues, about 57.9% of it going to compensation. So it's not a place that you necessarily want to put pressure on, but if you give the ability for most people to dare to take risk and cushion them with subsidized loans, with skills, etc., they will start their jobs and also hire people for that. And you have a stronger country to go forward. So yes, our call to you is to let your MPs know that beyond all of this, the Ghana dream will require that we are all part of this burden sharing and that we go on in a way in which we can sustain it and build our country. Now, when we are looking for resources, we tax here, we raise bonds locally, and we also raise bonds internationally. And the reason, I think 2 weeks ago, we had a downgrade was simply because of the disbelief that we'll be able to raise the resources that we want from here. But I don't think that really is what the picture we want to give people, because we know that the resources are here and we can do it. So as you heard, we also looked at our own sort of fiscal consolidation in which we then said that we are going to try and reduce our deficit in a way that enabled us to get a lot more resources for that. So this week, actually, I sent a letter out to all of my colleagues about our 20% cut in terms of expenditure to make sure that, we all work within that band, look at our resources more effectively, and ensure that we make space to be able to do the issues of debt sustainability, infrastructure, and the employment that we are thinking about. So that 20% cut that we are prescribing is going to mean almost a 2.4% in GDP, which then further brings the threshold down in terms of deficits and enable us to support our debt sustainability objectives and get a primary balance that is also positive. So we are going to do our best to restrain leakages. I know you've talked about the issue of the Auditor General, and truly when you look at that, that includes all sorts of obligations from the previous government, but also 10 billion of it is really collections and loans that are being taken care of. So it's not money lost, as you would say. But certainly in all areas that we are reminded, we will be reminded to ensure that we use this money well, and the issue of protecting the public purse becomes paramount to us. The other beauty of the e-levy tax is that it makes all of us responsible for protecting the public purse. And that is important. Because once you pay taxes, you have the moral authority to be able to require, certain performances from the political elite. And that is what we should be doing. So as you know, maybe to make it very clear, as they have been put in there, this is what the e-levy will constitute of. Cumulative transfers of 100, will not by the same person. Transfers between accounts owned by the same person. Transfers for the payment of taxes, fees, and charges on government.gov platforms, electronic clearing of checks, specified merchant payments will be out, so that as a merchant, if you register, it will help you, and it will also help me know how to tax incomes. And transfers between principal, master agents, and agents' accounts will not be covered. You are free. So these are the areas then that we'll be looking at to make sure that everybody participates. So in addition to this is what we are going to be doing. I think there's a benchmark announcement that GRA will do to help increase some of our tax revenues. The fees and charges bill is in Parliament to also help with that. Exemptions to cut them down or to have a better oversight over them will also do that. But we have also said at the Ministry of Finance and Government that we also look forward to maybe a quarterly review using the proceeds for, so that there's accountability and transparency. Because it's a mission for all of us, and a crossover into a new realm of just national accountability, national participation, seeing that we as a people, when we decide to come together, there's no restraint from where we are able to go. And as the Bible says in Genesis, if we all speak one language, understanding the greatness of this country, what the Black Star should be, there will absolutely be no restraint to what we can achieve. So that's the deep request that truly the President is making. Let's wake up to understand what our forebears believed we could do. Let's revive that energy, be an entrepreneurial state, pay our taxes together, watch after each other, make sure that our children are employed, and we will be that great nation that nobody can. But we need that spirit of courage, the spirit of love for each other, understanding that my neighbor's kid not working also affects me, and that self-discipline.
Waves, the best internet radio for
But I have no doubt, as a people, as I have seen what we inherited in 2017 and brought it this far, that we can even go higher and greater than that. Na yen peja oman yi a yen nananom de agyayen na yen so yen ye yen de enti pen me da wase na wase pa.
Another round of applause for the Finance Minister. You heard the Finance Minister himself. He said there will be accountability. And you have his word on quarterly reports so that Ghanaians can follow what the money that government is going to gain from this e-levy will be used for. So you are assured of accountability, and most importantly, he took us through the number of transactions that are exempt or that are not covered by e-levy. Me pamocho obi ohonoma na yakaskasem no bebre say ukotua 100 Ghana kra ye beje 20 Ghana beje 50 Ghana na waka no huhuhu na oye mahyew me paacho entisa mutie nsem a eye osoafo ohwesikasem so ankasa kan ose wo a wo be transfer ekosi Ghana cedi oha ana 100 Ghana cedi ana endrusa untua e-levy nibi afei nso so ebi account mienu ni nyina wo udin mu wo discani free ba ko akoto ba ko eno nso so untua bi na ebio se wo pese wo fa abefo kwan so etua to anase eka bi ma aban wo ghana.gov platform so a eno nso so untua e-levy nibi na afei nso pese wo fa abefo kwan so e declare wo checker untua e-levy nibi na se wo ne adwumakuo bi nso so didwa na se adwumakuo no se wo hwe GR nkrata mu a omo ye adwumakuo a ye register omo mutua to ma aban a wo send this car mo nso so e-levy no ye nti bi mfiri mu e na ne atwa to okra no se adwumaru ne agents omo ye merchants omo ye agents adwuma no between ono ne master no sa transfer na ekoso eno nso so e-levy no enka ho bi enti obi ka asem no huhu kire wa mesrewo se wo akwala bi wo fi ama ne mfa calculator na omo ka se o wutu ase abetu kakraka bebre ntisa na de ma ne calculate 1.75% on sika obesende ho na abehu se sebi obi antimi mbo kwase a enti nsembo kese pansa nkoma ono abo finance minister na senia yedi kan ye no se de papa no kra ye da mwase senia yesika no enenhye amui enese ye de akuku da momo aban mu de e-levy ho encheche mu bremu na ni titriu enese mu a moye Ghana adehye mo na moka bi ewom na mo beka eno ne de ye adwuma yaba mo na so se ye ba beto ato adwene ne atie ne mo won so so ka ensusu ye ana bibi kire wadwen so ana wonti bibi ase a ebre na du se ye befa questions any submissions na ye be 3 rounds round bi anso ye befa 4 questions mesremo memma wonkwa ye mfrɛ se bisa question no atwerɛ questions verse 10 na agebre ni nyina not more than 2 questions ye nhyehyɛ ne sa obia betima bisa ne question na yakwaje anu ye nso so wo mpanyimfo omotepono so no aha enti ye sha se ye befa mienu afiri ha na afa mienu nso wa ha sei na asa oba bi anim mi hu oba bi nsa nka me frɛ no okay enti mpacho madam ya wo hye tuntum a wo hye nose mask blue ni ye befa naka ho enti mpacho ye besa ababio. So please, you mention your name, the institution you are representing, or if you are here on your own, and please proceed with your question. Please.
My name is Sekondi from Sekondi, and I want to welcome you to one of the world class cities we can. Unfortunately, from 96, we don't have environmental-oriented MP, so the town is always going down. According to your own budget statement, 2022 budget statement, page 233 and 234. It's so explicit that even if you collect all the taxes, including the levies, comparing it to the expenditure, there's going to be a deficit of 12.5 billion. So why don't we tell Ghanaians that we are taking the levy to shorten the deficit, but promising Ghanaians that this levy is the panacea to our developmental projects. Meanwhile, your government over the past 5 years has in excess over 400 billion, but we cannot pinpoint how we have transformed the lives of the youth. My second question.
I hope that is the last question, because as mentioned, you can ask at most 2 questions.
According to the Auditor General Report 2020, Australia Aban behind many years ago over 12.8. We're getting for 4. Now, Piak report is all years over 2 billion. We're getting for 4. And the Boma 14.8 billion. It's the argument that Mama Aban said, very close, matter what you live. If I answer a map for, against us for, against our comfort, no one will pay, man, another Nabi. Now, from now, what Ghana, 2020, 1 chemical, the biggest guy that I live by Wabro.
Yo, Kaki, Kaki, some may acknowledge in the nearborn some man, Kaki. NDC constituency communication officer. Why region? And to why dear pass what's me about na ye beto adwin to one bonse market. Regional communication officer, why are there? Me pacho udi any baby free no one be our question.
Business echo appear. Me MP and lawyer and Kofi Japan and Minister and
Ghana Waves, the best internet radio for Ghanaians abroad.
Phones too are registered mobile money. Let's say and transfer escape and our folder or battle. Now, so in the maybe, yeah, what make it true? Maybe there, let this water, my end up on hot. And now, not to transfer, who would there, a very good maybe, but one Macasar or Bass, if it's there, this is oh, then many now stand over there. Now, so by end up, yet see there, Western region, a new work of free secondary school, from a
Mr. Mo ahanye di Mr. Mo say be ya omo bisa asem e beti. Yo, yeah, that's it. And see, ya be fa questions me no aka ho ne akogye anu ya ba. Me pacho. Yeah, yeah.
what's the president for doctor? Private jets. Now, president for doctor, private jet. I'm the president of only luxurious stuff. You contribute to the
Minia Hashim Tanko Nuhu, or no so say a DC communication team member. Yeah, once a man say what's me about Harry. Miss Ramo, and I'm COVID-19. Young person will be the line or so 10. Miss Ramo, Obian Tanasi, and Kwaka Minia Bana or Shetuntum no so. Say, or no, the last person you a best half frame will be now. My baby's a question. Me patch to us.
Best internet radio for Guardians abroad.
Me pacho, Michelle. There be me more to akoso abisa question no. And so me pacho who question no can specific. Say question nie. Can profligate spending Hello, Mr. Moma Hanyedi. Mr. What can profligate spending vague? One point is say A, B, C, D. And to me more ask you a question. Now so make sure say specific. So the nipa no wa no year no the aba.
I'm going to what I want to tell all of you.
And to a question by compacho. Mr. Mohayendi, me pacha Hayendi, mani misana question.
President already rejected. President
Oh, Ahanyedi, Mr. Amo.
Ago. Begum na nyifa wan frey. Begum na nyifa wan frey. Pocho boko. Poncho obi antra fom. Poncho obi antra fom. Poncho obi antra fom. Ago obi antra fom. Mo poncho obi antra fom. Anche bia ebe man payinfo yi first set of questions na no. Sentra ya ba hanye de. Ye bere obi nyaber na okana asem. Ye bere obi nyaber na okana asem. Ma obi nta ase no we bisa na mpanyinfo a kire no mu. So obi so wa adwenkyere bi a opede o kire a wa kire. Sisi a yere kase and come on, E11 no one sem. Emi amija obi bejina ho say mafu plane akwa brochi with private jet. Onya no kwal. Man amija muntu kwan with private jet in kwa brochi. Ibia ono so dem na wata a o hye ni tirim. To onya kwan no bisa na asem a na ya cheche no mu. Enti boko obi antina fom. Be ma yedu ni panyinfu no be yi first set of questions na no. Ko jo se hu pede ye the microphone no bra ho ma. Say it's in here, yet microphone no babaho. And honorable ministers are day. You better prepare not your visa questions are our hand. Obeying Basti. Obeying Basti, put your microphone is today, ma'am. Say, Zinia Baha, yet microphone no babaho. Yes, red will be answered from paying for bed. Say, where your questions are our banana. Zinia Baha, yet microphone no babaho.
So bisu kansama onye nukwara ya mampenyufo esabutar na wachire muo. Nti honorable minister, bojo ebeba na nsembisa wedi nkan wa ba no ye ya no ye da wo masem. Bojo say din ye ba ho a ye the microphone no ba ho be take more questions. Honorable minister.
Good evening. Pacho bien transe. Good evening. Pacho yanye kom kakrana yewe jumea ewo ya nimi. Okay, guys. Pacho yanye. Pacho bien transe na yema program yen konanim. Enti ya start you know. Ena cake besides the deficit of 12.5 billion B into levy Uwe budgets you start NDC now your budget deficit of about 6.5%. For more than 5%. And COVID didn't buy and the cost. My budget a year current a free 12.2%, the above 9.4%. And I feel so, yeah, day 20% cut Bremu. And also they know back of form a little bit more. Send a bit to debts, employment and infrastructure na ya pesa ye no na ne sese otia sene se sene economy no sisano na ye ka se economy no ye more equal and enti through that no utumi hu fa ko a ye started 78 billion I could do 953 billion enti ono be going forward no for the economy. But what is also critical, through this tax handle, no, yenina betimi wa near Trebi. Inti no, you're really very important. Say, yetimi ye na yenina Trebi sene beya, Jomedia yaba beye, yenina kaho, and yetimi do. And I mean, Sanka say. So 21 million subscribers in terms of taxes Esisano mapa enti ya kan 25 CDs or so a year per person so chichemu pepe enti bibia eboa maye nyina tuabi na incidents no so enye that high for everyone na yetimi ye juma SSA ye no ko apia nso be kan bi support to e-levy no na ashim toko no kan no me bia na emfata papa say private jet ne hon kika honi ade but really juma dia nana Akufo-Addo ababe ye no yensronko utimi honi ade a share school feeding, any leave, any roads, any health care, within 4 years, and you be President Bia Timiayeda, into your kosher near time books in the year. You be wonder, say, when you're a miracle bang, and it didn't chintia, yet me a year a norma, kama sano. Government be anywhere, say we want to make a baby. about it, but at least, as I say, you can, with the real facts in hand. And as I say, Obu Onsubem, as I say, Obu Bem, na yen Ghana for dear, and ye be beer, ye am paying for, I am bohu de, our payment. Into non so, yen ye, send a seven, me better cake, wahan, my yano, and as my yamu leaders be into Ayana. You know, yantu yambo because so ultimate kasa say media minyahwe na yenyehwe unim say ebia na wofa baby ba ho beji school fees afi de o mabie mu a ene say wanya bibi ana say afi de 400,000 people na onko school no ene say no obi so wanya bibi enti aya yenhwe yen language enya say yeteteam mu a na kire say hona no kware no wo but obu no de aya yenkai e say ho yen Ghanaians ho na yafi ntimpa ne chew yensu aye and obi can private jet obi ato any profligate spending and no de aya na you know bibia how and our auditor general asem no so make ho asem once the 12 billion point something 8 million 800 million cedis and also send America 10 million things that are still in collection so reminding us to continue with the loans recoveries you know and outstanding debtors which of course GRA is continually doing and that is a fact. And then cash irregularities, no. And until a day, Ghana.gov number, send a all payments go through that system and reduces it. And it's a structural thing. And the Vice President at the digitalization assembly okay. ABB I say because Anyafi now Kakutiobi, Nina go through the platform. Na say no me nyina ebafom enti ehwa na me de besi na me da masenso na ya organize ehun yie because we no nyina important say ye ne mokasa na yete you know enye ntokwasem you know politics there ntokwa no hia ye nyina wo no me wo ye mboso but ye we as Ghanaians and so yetimi bon komo because kwesiada no sabe medu presby sorry maybe out me nchen na ye kan asumdu asem no enti anya bibia ye beka na obi epra na town hall meeting basa abam no enti ase na ye hwehwe enti o kan ode a na ye nso ya kan ye de na ye hu senia o members no beka bibia kire on ana ye members ebia now members no so on atemase and until I made the whole issue say young Ghanaians no what are we, who are we as a people, and where should we move forward? That's it. My try next set of questions.
Okay, Mr. Amo, say o person will be sa question na ye nton santini bi tena baby awo bia ye the microphone no ebetoa wo ho no wa bisa question enti na maami no di queue no mu dada wo anya akwanya misa no question na mahu oba ba akonso so wa ha sei enti ye befa wo yaka ho na enti ye befa 1 2 na 3 ne afa fourth person okay bra yo tie echi ho nti mpacho de beba honom na motimi abisa mo question. Okay.
Government appointed for Shamali. The question is already Minister Finance Minister Kasanoka said who transfers stuff from Obi sending stuff not what you send in your own name who transfer to Fayette. Then on the question I'm going to say
Yo, yeah, that's it. Enti, or the Casamuno Bebro, baby, I will be an wait me a question. But Moto Santini, they are on frame, Mr. or baby, I will be at Tanasi, or the Casamuno Beba.
There were two issues that the person said before I pressed mommy and stand. I was starting like this. When I was young, I thought I wanted to go the house because it was nearing his pension. We were in the family. So he decided to have a meeting with the whole family, including all those who staying with us. He called the round table meeting. Until the last mass, we are traveling. In the end, we all agreed to say cut down our expenditure. We all agreed. You are bringing this deal. You know how it is. Come in the back, you know you're praying. And the more you make country one side, one more point you say they are not getting the full salary. It is poverty in household in Ghana has rather gone up. Everybody is suffering. It is after e-learning, yet you are seeing the number of people ahead. You want to know exactly what e-learning is going to do for. Because there are a lot of loopholes in the system. If the government, all these loopholes are self-existing, and they are going for this e-learning act, it is driving the household more down into the poverty line. It is a struggle. If you want to be transparent, and let's see exactly what lays ahead, so that we all know what we are going in for. Because at the end of the month, we do a pension payer. It's only 100 pounds. It's only 150 pounds. It's only 6 pounds. So where is that? They're going to receive it. It's to count for her. And I can't send because charges, Moses is sending 100 within a year. Is that carried?
Within a day.
Within a day. But I can't send 100 within a day. Because if I do that, you now, for this 3 months, I'm going to be 50 books. Now I send you 100 a month. I send you 150 a month. They said they have to send. That is what I do. And then it's travel. I am exactly what is supposed to be. Because I hear them say, oh, yeah, I was like, I'm going to do any government leader. What was the fact that we meet each other now?
Mpacho yo yati mpanyinfo ba be yi anu ama nti baby out be all the microphone no be ba na wait me abisa a question nti mesre mo obi anto santene ye ntina fa Pacho wo je microphone na no abodi se adwumakuo bi na wugina omana mu aha na wa na oba ya no ama ehu achi.
Oh, thank you very much. My name is Joseph Mensah Oti SOP. I'm the head of disability unit at Takwadi Technical University. I have an observation related to the slides and then one question. If you look at this particular slide, I think item C, transfers from bank account to mobile money account. I think there needs to be some clarity on it. Are you referring to the bank account owned by the same person to his mobile account or another account owned by another person? On the same C, it conflicts with, this one is e-levy covered transfers. The C conflicts with the B of the not covered e-levy items. If the IT person is here, we can open that slide so that we can all have our mind to that. Yes, the B. Transfers between accounts owned by the same person. I think we need some explanation and clarity on that one. And even on the B, if I have MTN, and then it is registered mobile money MTN, and I have another MTN which is also MTN mobile money registered, or I have MTN or Vodafone owned by myself. Does it mean that if I'm transferring money from that MTN owned by myself to Vodafone owned by myself, I won't pay or I'll pay? And that if I'm transferring 200 Ghana cedis in my name into another network in my name, are you paying or you are not paying? We need clarity on that one.
Okay, thank you for the question. So we will take the last question for this round. Hey, your first question is very long. So please.
There's somebody here. Go to the last one.
Okay, so let's take the last question because you took most of the time. I beg you.
Go to the last one. Let's go.
Please, we are dealing with time. Let's go to the last person, okay? So please, not more than 2 questions. If you can stick to one, that will be fine.
Thank you very much. My name is Honorable Yokusaji, Assembly Member, Wasa Esaman, Wasa East. My question has gotten to do with how people are taking the e-levy. Say, okay, I will go you class in e-levy, I say, you do you to must say, no form. Me, I'm a tackle, me, I'm a tickle media, you must say, e-levy, a bit of Yapua, a bit to my Yapua, in class, our school dime, any appointment to Japan Summer. No, you are dear class, and Lucas won't tell e-levy on Tiasia. To trust information ministry, say, Mumwa. Let me let you know, I'm going to class on Tiasi and sign as a way to make us going to go to Yahweh. And I get also you, the way to make us. I said, anybody.
So this is the last question for this round. We'll come back for the last round, but let's go for the Honorable Minister's responses.
Honorable Fati, thank you. Ago. I will say, Yenina Dia, Ubianya, Quine, Ebisana Semono. Near only a yardrino, yet, Noni and Yardrino, or Chrena Semu. The entire town hall meeting, they say, a Dudu drink Memu. Enye patapa enye gidiginen tokwa to be at nasi no be bisa na semwa enu ti na mpanifo afi enkran ne Cape Coast ne ade aba ne enya kwan edi ho nkomo ye wo brema mo ti musumunya breman edi kan dia obisa asemo etwato se ukonkura na se a nkomodie ni nu akire ntinti ase no enko akire na wo susu se 11 na beboa ma ekurasi school ne ekurasi kwan anye yie no ayeye na bia nkomo no enu akire nti omo nte ase ti ono no se ebi edikan wontua edikan minua no te akurase na sika o sende enru ana emro 100 cedis daba ko bia no ono krampo no ontua bi deda aban di kai na fi nti ono krampo no eni so ha ne ho bebre se ebeka no esan se ono ontua bi etoso mienu de enti ama enkomodie no ubedu baabi na aye nipa sumu kesene na dwene mu hina no ene se enkomo aye di e wose ade nukuradie ene periperi edi no ye mu binom ye de niema enka ho afuntum afra enti nkomo no mu ankasa nhye da na ho enu nti na ya ba ha ye town hall meeting so bi be ka kire o say aban person oji e-levy ana president Akufo-Addo person oji e-levy no de quarter presidential jet enye no kore enka nkomodie no ho obi de no be fra no de politics abefra nti nkomo na ankasa no ayira sebe mimekurasi kwan ana mimekurasi school a ye pese ye gigi sika kakra ne ye de ye no no be the politics abefra na say nti nkomodie na nkasa nto aso ti e be sere se MPPO NDCO PNCO CPPO ye nyina Ghana ne ye ne ehwe ti e ma no kuredie na di won nkomodie ni mu eno na be ma no kure pa obi e twe aban adwen agina so no yate ne ye de aye adwuma ne de nsem anya no kure frefra de a ye hu kure nkrampo na ye de aye adwuma nkyeremu a wo se enkoso ne bi na na ekoto radio stations ahodo e western region ha say air fire TV ne ade fire live asa nkyeremu no ekire mbako penin mbako bisa ne say so em say me ma mi bisa ye say na aban to me the expenditure so instead of obe person obe prisika bi aka ho ana mema finance minister be ya no e ko sankofo bebre bi say to asum e o se yi ano to asem obi sa ne say na me je 1000 na me tua me to wo ho na me transfer mo obi na e say tua no transfer mo obi no say tua enye to aso ana brofo mu repeated taxation e na ye ya na ye beyi eno so ano ansa na me nuai ne ko san me no obi sa o say slides 1C ne 1B no ase ontiase ye and no person who say Miami or MTN ana Miami chips me no na me transfer e ka no ana ye be ni na no men kan sem keto bi ansa na minister ba budget ya 2020 budget ya edi ye dwuma wo kaskani na abomu a broni sika 145 billion 145 billion enumpo no mpanimfo esese a na kyerɛ sɛ adwuma a aban bɛyɛ wɔ Ghana ha nyinara teacherfoɔ sojafoɔ policefoɔ community center ha say mo market mo kwan ne adeɛ nyinaa ne ɛka bɔ mu a 145 billion mpanimfoɔ sese a saa sika no ponko yɛ nya a nka ɛbɛ spendi bi aka ho ɛsen saa ɛsen sɛ 145 no koraa no ɛnso adwuma a yɛpɛ sɛ yɛyɛ ɛnyɛ finance minister pɛ sɛ obi pɛ adwuma na ɔsi ɔntumi ma no financial clearance but the ɔmpɛ ne sɛ ɔbɛka sɛ yɛmfa nipa ko ne sika ni hɔ a yɛde tua ne ka enti ɛwɔ yɛto yɛbo ne yɛnya saa sika no ne yɛma financial clearance ɛnyɛ finance minister pɛ ne sɛ contractor bi akɔgye besia wɔ baabi afi kwan bi ase na wayɛ ayi ne certificate na ɔnyɛ sika ntua no na contractor na park ne nneɛma kɔ ɛnyɛ ne fɛ na mmom deɛ ama na kɔ ba saa ne sɛ sika ɔwɔ de yɛ adwuma nyinaa yɛ 145 no koraa no e-levy 7 billion ka ho na edu 145 no nti sɛ woka sɛ yɛnte aban expenditure no so a yɛmmisa yɛn ho sɛ neɛ he no na yɛka sɛ yɛnte so sukuu dan na yɛspɛsi yɛsi no ɛne yɛnte so anaa Cape Coast market Takoradi market adwuma no yɛyɛ na yɛnte so anaa nkwalaa a ɛpɛ adwuma wɔ aban mu no na yɛnte so anaa napkofoɔ no korɔ ɔm sɛ ɔm sika mbaeɛ no a yɛse yɛnhwehwɛ sika ntua ɔm no ɛno na yɛnte so anaa obi si ministers ɛno korɛ ɔmampanin Akufo-Addo n'aban first one ministers baby ani egyina second edusi wate so obi obeka so ohunu sɛ wate so na nya no korɛ enti question wo sɛ ebisa ɛho no sɛ aban emom ɔmpɛ sika ne bi nka ho fa nya adwuma na aka wɔ akyire na sɛ ɔnte na adwuma no so ɛno ne question ne baako ansana kakra ɛwɔ saa repeated tax yi ho ne sɛ ne papa mu pa no sɛ memegye maketua a metua so toɔ obi ɔte me nkyɛn wɔ fie yi adwuma no sɛ metua ne ka a ɛwɔ sɛ yɛtua toɔ wɔ so ɔno so po ɔfɔ obi sɛ ɔnyɛ adwuma ma no na otua nipa korɔ ne ka a ɛwɔ sɛ ɔno so tua toɔ wɔ so no korɛ pa ɛwɔ mu ne sɛ yɛmu bebree saa ɛtoɔ ne anketenkete ne nyinaa no yɛntua enti sɛ kɔba ne sɛ yɛnya abɛɛfo kwan ɛno deɛ obi antumi nyine ho mfim a yɛbɛgye a na akɔyɛ sɛ yɛtwetwe yɛn ase kakra obi sɛ tax bi nyɛ fɛ sɛ saa ne yɛbɛka na nka yɛbɛka sɛ tax bi ani hɔ ɛyɛ fɛ na adɛ me na mayɛ m'adwuma ɛna bosomi aso na yɛtua meka adɛ na ɛwɔ sɛ yɛte sika no bi kɔma aban me na mekɔtɔ me petrol agu me kaa mu mea me kaa mekɔtɔ petrol agu adɛ na ɛwɔ sɛ aban de toɔ kakra to so na aban agye sɛ ɔde kɔ akɔyɛ kwan ho adwuma me na mekɔtɔ adeɛ wɔ store adɛ na aban de value added tax ato so a ɔgye bi nke bɛka sɛ ne nyinaa ɛnyɛ fɛ saa so na ɛteɛ sɛ me na me transfer me sika na aban se deɛ mede ma MTN ɔmfɛ nkɔ ne kurom Vodafone sɛ ɔmfɛ nkɔ ne kurom no aban se yɛma no kakra no ɔmfɛ nyɛ yɛ kwan yɛ a ɛwɔ ha yi yɛbɛtumi ahu ne sɛ dabi ɛnyɛ fɛ nti ɛmpɛ sɛ yɛtua na yɛatena baabi yɛtena yɛbɛtumi so ahu ne sɛ yɛn nyinaa yɛkeka yɛn nsa ase na yɛapɛ kakra de ayɛ adwuma kakra a mɛka nsa na ma invite finance minister manaba bɛyi ano yɛwie ne aba for final batch of questions honorable minister patro wobɛka yɛn nsa na waboa yɛ ma yɛyɛ questions no
Wait a minister, Medase. That's a minister answer questions. Nina, my name the entire but that's it. If it's Obeka Stella now or Bisa first question, no, and now Obeka minister, Achira Sekakra. Now, what are you in tax books, Mukra Stella? It will be a friend or gift tax. I just will be chair will be via. Na Sabia brochure dear, 70 million fancy into a Honda Korean for say gift and also a taxo. Now the person the year dear and a wasam. Well, into sometimes your cassa, Nanuntinam started a quan normano F and see a discana, Muka brochure, Namu Johnny, near Johnny near try and taxes. I hold the boko. You do your mind more. Na yempese yesesa bampa as I say also accountable and transparent but yes as I say yesesa and I'm my name is Stella na ono no ye assembly member no or something, or appointed assembly member. Now, appointed assembly member, there, I never be an person. Ultimately, Bisa original minister, and I say Bisa, and also Emfata. He had discipline, Kakra, or Yankrumha. And I evangelist, and so can be said. On and Papa no more sit dying, and I won't decide this. I won't be cut expenditure. Send a bay, I won't be sit dying. It's UTA a news conference, sometime 2 weeks ago, and also make said 20% expenditure cuts, and I know so made the letters I come on. Send your bay, your better, your canny. No, my year came, and you have for some more. And you say you're TM na ye bibia sabi wa community no utimi hu senia ye norma emma omanu nkoyi into digitalization no and I feel there obi antimi ndwane oye dan within a year no mehu fa kon awo sika wo mehu senia sese utue bi ma aban mehu senior Yabaya coin on so it is getting more and more transparent for all of us. Senior bit me cut down loopholes. Say Ghana.gov assembly and you could hear things related to municipality. Baba straight through Ghana.gov and yes will be timid in Sabum. Non so auditor general Timia who far echo. And normal ye ebeba. Send a bay, I am a manum at least a bedu baby. Na yet to me, etria, normal as I say it to and as I say it to you, Bossina, and definitely the issue of reducing my expenditures, but in budget, and the Senior Minister Kayano. 145 billion. Your GDP, you're 500 billion. Into your car, somewhere, about 30% of our budget is what we are using. Into here, and to come more to be able to build up to it. And as I say, and your promise, say you be used to Sikani ye, send you be a bit trebi, send you be a betima ye Juma a die nemo. Now be a Huatono. Internally, here, the e-levy by. I think there was a gentleman about the various ways in which we will get it. The truth of the matter, I think that was it Joe Mensa or somebody or Ajay? The truth of the matter is, I don't want anybody getting, duplicitous. Say, I can't say 100 CDs on a daily basis. Ena sebe yen taxi ayema e-levy waswa. It doesn't matter whether it is Vodafone or it is MTN. By the time we finish with the system to do it, it doesn't matter where you go, because that singular ID will manifest. Whether you've done 20 here and 30 there and 50 there or whatever, but the algorithm will show that it is this ID, and therefore exempt you from the first 100 CDs. Just building, a transparent culture where, we are not pretending to be part of it and not part of it and finding ways around it, okay? And gradually, this will not be questions because it will be very clear what you do. But we'll get to that algorithm, and that really is the way in which we should work to constantly improve the system so that nobody is compromised. And that's the truth and spirit. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Mr. Emo, will come to you for the last round. Or the microphone, no baby out be out now. Na webi sampacho e ma bi o ma o bisa question ni bia na ye pese ye balance nti ensa ne ye mema nko na mehwehwem se hu oba ba ko ananka webi sabi okay And then patch off a microphone, no ma obi or ben will be a no beside the question.
Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Dr. Eric Busamati Jr., Dean of Student Affairs, Takrady Technical University. And this is my question. I'd like to know whether those of us on government payroll wouldn't end up being taxed twice, because government taxes us already on the payroll, so that when we have to pay for services rendered as through Momo and we are taxed, wouldn't it then amount to being taxed twice? But beyond this, I sincerely think this is the best way to widen the tax net and to ensure that everybody comes on board. But my primary concern is this, what I've just asked. Thank you.
So you can give the microphone to the next person.
Yo, Pamcho, Yada Moase. JY Heba for short. Na JY Heba. JY.
Okay.
Yeah, straight. Yada Mpenfuasi. Ewo akwenya sonko etise ya omudi ama Sekondi Takrady titru atoe mantemu. Na mebusa se yebesre mpanifo NCC dwumadie ben wo betumi adi efa yi levy ho e de aboayen as a country, because yenim se wo mo ye body bi a e bada wubo enku se e wo mobile money kakra wo beye no so no enu nti enu di kan ato ho no e na ama sesi am gidi se dwumadie no ana da wubo no ho asem aye den enti e best information minister ene mpanifo se momo moden na munhu mechanism aye nyina ebe yisu a ebetumi ama nioma akoyie e de ama o my Ghana neto
yo yeah that's it. Aka last two questions into from
yo
me pato udi na we bisa question
yo me da se de wa ma kwanya me de pesi ahina kwa no kreni oye me hije papa de inde de ye hye wa ha madam minister na ni mpanyim fa so send wo buyen bi wa ma hinde yin papa o send mbibia yesho television ne yehwe do record one kan e yan sam ne yan tasiye ma sama me ba kan yi de no kwari dami levy the matno wa mete de nde ye work hina ma me hu yi de enche emi bosoma so ana obi de misika to my account mafo ka me fishama mako Takrady mako yisika car aketua nche meziboko ena obi beka risk involved na nche mentina mi fie na sika no ma mi yimfri bank na manfantu no baba fondo na sika nche meziba fo car mezi akwa Takrady mezinimu kakra mezama abande abane som na mukrom kwan anade free education yapeda otuado anade health insurance yapeda wo yemukena na yenem rentia mara me brother onye adwuma ye we school onye adwuma ye nchami ntinti de eyi oya sambon na yama azana akoya azuhuhu bi awa bokrom nti mama sran de inde ya ye hyewe hei DC yifo awo ha ena oyimpa yifo awo ka ho minister regional minister obia nkonu krom na asam no wenchechire ma here ya be ya ati ye nti ni ye osanda sihye ekurase yi be biara ko na wa benti sika na sisi no
enti ma wo se menu aba ba ko nsa osoro wa ekiro misro e ma no no so nti fama no na ono nso on bisa the last question ni o shebu wa peda nsa
ya from Kofi
oh
na
bra na me think last word yem fam na oba na o wa ekiro
oh na me so ma che ya from Kofi
okay
na media ni say 11 no sabe mejitum na mo mesra ban o monte so a ebebu ayen apart from that no so no sabe ya monkasa na indwuma pa mo ye no kise wo mo kan ade ana wo mo behu ebetu kwan no ne omu na ba bia obi fa ya otehwe ye no mama mo so mo nkofa ho Media Kasani area father.
Yo, yeah, that's it. Me pacho last question. No farmer oba no na. Me pacho udi na wabisa question.
Me damasisa mama kwenya we me dinte abena hinewa mijinama atenka media and a face subsidiary of Ahoto FM. Na aya ya collect ni bi news ni de yeba ebi mu kan say we aye correspondence any omo a omutie yen e question e na omo de asoma mi obi say e11 no obetimi etua nanso what you see ni trim say abro a won 20 no say mo say 50 cedis monte 60 cedis monte and no obebu no tot and to obebu no tot kwa de onu so kwa ni so obebu no tot me did say emboa yen. And I'm a second question, and it's almost mendi ano emuaye and fambromo because said the buyer may convince now, obetia say we could 100 cedis and the yacht no now obey okay no.
Me pacho 100 cedis yente.
100 cedis yente. Into almost on babu tot okoyin so obey ni sa. Ana me pamocha banking sectors no. Ade asisi ano omo kwadisika e ohonoma yente. Na wakati ade aba ni sika so ni momoso no aba betua no. One year and to the Obeko Bank, no Aquacoin Sika, and to see Sano, a Sika Sam, any in Ayeshe, it has said banking sector, no, and now say Momo transaction, Tabano, and to Sumoko.
Yo, many by that say, and on a year as a missay chat to auntie, Yabeko, and penny for Honia Kwaje, and knew a chat to Yana, Bana, Jumedi, near the Aquay.
And you question back by say NCC, a den or more at the Aboa. The were born and yet is a buying quan, your finance minister and quan and yan and Toko Oko. A yenina, the information ministry, dear. Yen say NCC for almost was started general revenue mobilization education. Ghana Revenue Authority, Omupeni, Amisha Dai, say, almost wefia, omo elbow the road, Chres, Pierre Tianeto, Kakra, Nadia Chitre, or Mino, and Sana DC for the MP4, assessment near Dinano. Nyina so wo say ye be ye de aka ho aye adwuma enche bia obo say information services for so omo so beti omo agum omo so eye omo de ka ho enti ye be frɛ finance minister man de anu disem a etwato aba be to ye nyina na so ansa na ya da ase ne asɔre adwuma die no minister
yo kojo that's pa na ye shia wa ha nyina so aseda that's what me buy. First, doctor, no, and besides the issue of say a tax on twice, or so. Najuma dinner dear, so when him, a sabi, yen system no, and I am when you drew tia, and nipapi afa on whom I won't tia. But certainly, in a sense, you know, obia or yajuma. And we are hoping that with this tax, everybody will be included so that everybody will get taxed. And all the people who also do the informal market, informal jobs will also be part of it and get taxed on they receive as masons or carpenters, etc., and still pay the levy. So that it's universal amongst us, but we are catching up. NCC JY Assembly Kojoka yeno. I think a J area further they can say maybe our levels no yen reduce into announce ye idea yaka ye na me catch us say ne telcos no kasaye yetimi ma 1.25% ba from into announce ye na ye ankasa so ye ne ye nkrofo na ka 175 and say 150 ye hwese ne be ya obia betimi aye ne dia boa omano enti ade obi ka from FM station no say obey no thought but say no de wo energy level any bra wo wa obetimi akọ different places no aye Yeah, sure, say, but at least they do a per 100 you be during the day, no, na year. Now, Ujin says, worth your while, say, over Chichi Munsu, they are. Saying, you are still following the law. And yes, some will be a becker. Banking sector, as some non so, ABB, I know, Abohun Komo. Say, on an administrative level, no, we are hoping, say, there won't be that type of migration. Na no ba eno nso yebefa ho adwen senia yebeye obia betua bi entikojo. I think those are the questions, but I na SSA DV no say e-levy asema ye kan any amount vision as to say what is Ghana and where does Ghana want to go. Na SSA ye collect ye sika na yetimi ye adwuma SSA ye. Say employment asemi enye BBSS ye didi agro. Enti ye hia pa say ye be inya sikai na ya support you start program bi say ne be ya obia be nya adwuma no ye. Na infrastructure and so mo market ne mo roads any friends saying MC development adi nyina ebeboa ma yetimi aye ye. And then also yenka ye de no yetimia etimi etuaka na ya support no SSA na ya ni aya no say budget allocations no ya reduce it by 20%. Sene be ya moka no so government so tete no ma so na leakage no so ya dey abafom. And then hopefully also no sene amekan no ya be ya quarterly reports nya de no bia hu sene ya de sika no ye. But I think say ye nyina SSA som say SSA nyina tuabi whatever rate it is no SSA nyina tuabi sene be ya o man yi ebe koso enti medase say ma say mo bre na ma ba ha ne abetie.
Oh, almost a finance minister. Na where the yes, bibi a washa say bia where we and the government town hall on e-levy. Ye de bedam Sekondi ha. Mijidi se nkomo ne nya nke free ha say nke ebe kasa ma de achi nanso so eja esese ye jump mpanimfo no mo konkran no mo koto adwumadi so enti ebeda mu nyina amase atitru ne anuonyamfo a moje ebra wie nyina mo ne aba betena ha etitru nso so yebeda honorable minister for finance honorable Kenuforiata oni mpanimfo omobo ne chidom nyina omofri eye ministry of finance ba edo mo ase na yada ye host regional minister honorable Kwabena Ochreda Komensa aka honorable Kobi yebeda nase say minister ba kope na yada honorable Justina Marigold Asan yada nase so de ne nu onyam ne nim dia bedrechi na akaba ako me boss were member of parliament for Sekondi na ebio osaye deputy energy minister honorable Andrew Ejapa Mesa dodo na friend bobo ye beda nase say odi ne nim de ne nanu onya beta ye chi ye nim say asofo imam anu onyamfo bebre wo na still ye gina ha na me gina ban na mu eda mu nyina amase any MCs mayor ye DCs any mpanyimfo atichiru nyina amedi kan abo mudi ye da mu nyina amase sa akokọ bon a na government of Ghana any e-levy team efri aban mu ba ha ene da amase na efri ho me pesenka ye frɛ eye second deputy imam for Western region wa ha a efrɛ ni imam Zulkifl Wahid na wadem wa beta adwumadie ni nyina echi na nyame atonso pa agusu nti imam mpacho
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمينا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تواهزنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إسرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم
E11 ho sensem ya no an gu so a se edi ahin wo bebia befa bia wo man Ghana mu pan na adwen se obekọ ye emansi nyina mu na wakọkyerɛkyerɛ mu ma Ghana fo anya wo ho entiase na nedwumadie no ye finance minister owura ye Ken Oforiata na owase bi ode nsem ebire atudwa saa so na kodwo ponkroma eba bi ye junior bema ye Western Regional Minister no ono so ewo ho eye kwabna otredako saa so na eye MP4 eye Western Regional Central Regional Minister no so ewo ho Honorable Justina Marigold oba ahofeso no ono so ebepiem ewo ho bi saa so na eye Honorable Andrew Boya pa na se dey etin je mention Ejapa Honorable Andrew Ejapa na no so ewo ho a obeta dwumadi na chi mabia ekọ so kama yenye tensem bebre a wona oba dwumadi na se ebisa ye ese no nkakrakra emu eda ho emu de metima da ho ni mum se ebegya tum no so no so se emu da ho ni ebegya tum nsusu bebre and it's good say to me I think that it's good say omo se bonten a omo di sa dwuma we na nkese nkomo sha ase ntem before cra and komo de bill no be call parliament cra say komo de sa ho addition we nyina eba magana for ete 11 na siye akose entiase anya adwuma ntino anama 11 no esensen ho a ama yenhida enhu se ye kwa adwa na se ye kwa ata ntimi ye sure say nyame ya adom na se omo chichini memu na se bia ko find ya se ebegya tum na se yenye tum ne mre ene nkrabia na ebekire ewo sa dwumadie no ase wasugusu a wotie Ghana Ways Radio eja enne ne ye hwe ensem ba komini bi efa kan Japan ensem okoka ewo bebi a bogoso wa ntokwa esiye minkasa ntokwa explosion ni ekosi a de basabasa ye eba ho no na no wura kan Japan betu ja se ono de ogidi se saa dwumadie no security wise was like escorter like a car no e de kono ebi ama but reporter police from the bank said that there was escort or did this na escort be any ho for the him to say this and just say emra assembly see and nkra ye free crew money say driver no ankasa na si from ekopam school for ne hwanhwanfo na mo be me bia dwumadie no ewo ni nyina free ho enti se na nka police wo ho most times nka jobi se nka police fo adwuma eno no nka no be hwe se on be this crowd ni nyina free ho na obia akopa bia akokɔhye a emfa ho bia mabati nya eye police ni bia na nyese nka police escort for kan ho a anka dia anka medi sa adwuma no we ni asem rock na Japan e de betu dwa eno achi no ana okase adwuma kro a omo ehyen ekudi sa adwuma no wo se omo ni omo company eye insurance company kasa na ka bia ababia no mo ana wo se boss aka na nya aban ana wo se boss aka insurance because omo gidi se a company na omo insurance registered company iti wo se sa eka de nyina no sa company no timi efa na omo timi to omo so na ekro no nyina no omo sisi ni nyina de ema ekromo fo no se de be ya obia asumbaje na ban so ho be henhan no because we have na ba ko pesika ko esi nyina de eye pressure ebeto eye aban no so nti we ensem bia rock na Japan de etu jo we no sade so bo or the fight e kwete time no ane party na manyeku MPP fo ne say mo obia mfa wo ha the pressure enko eye honorable Babin so Babin pobutu 1000 obia ntimi enka foko obia ntimi nya hwe ewo eho sa we so ensem o kan ne nyina ne say wo say ya ne to ababa Babin mo Babin bae sanki empena ki anto amfa amana amma ne mu ya to bana nko ano amana bana die na kire se ya ni amana ba enti de odo be bia on fanye yen enti mo bia nsore enkotwena no se chopsticks enfa ko si eye Babin so no ne nkoye gidigidi bia no Babin enya hwe ne mo an pipifo no omo amani hunu na mo namu no we ne nse na ye dwendwen ho ansa na ye de ne kotakwade akohwe town hall meeting na eye finance minister ko jo ponkroma ene eye takrade emrantie ene abusua wo ho e de bra ye tv enya be ma a e friend no eye kwabna otwere dako honorable western regional minister no o asia ordinary sem ebetu dwa ye tie okay nyina nyame adom ochina sansensi ne bekum deep e bibie nsem ni mu na wo so do adwenche dia ba fi se bebre na omoka especially eye finance minister anna ye mahme eye Justina Marigold your tapes in your nyame adom ochina we will dive into that issue very well so also na eye Japa Andrew Ejapa or also ekasa pa na also kasem bebre be body ntie na yasa I dive into the issue very well nyame adom ochina ye hia e kasafidie so a some radio akasima enson na tese eye no nonum abo me sorry na ye de eye friend saying face to face media no e de esi aha nyame adom a ye beto aso echi.
The best internet radio for Ghanaians abroad.